Welcome to the British BMX Championships Day 2, live here at Derby, 2024 edition. Yesterday was brilliant racing with the younger riders and cruisers. Today is the older category on 20-inch and Superclass Championship categories as well. The track is mint, a little bit windy today, the sun's shining, it's nice and dry at the moment, might be a sprinkle later. But yeah, we should be pretty good racing all day today. So yeah, we go live with motos in about 2-3 minutes time. They're just doing final track preps behind me, which is what you can hear, blowing the dust off from the mud that was dragged onto the track yesterday. But I must say the track rode brilliantly all day. The berms were decent, even though they had a bit of muck on them and a bit of weather. So yeah, as I say, nice sunny day. Enjoy watching. If you're at home, cheering on your riders and your regions. And remember, you'll only see the regional shirts today. Even the Superclass and Championship categories are wearing their regional shirts, which is one of the really lovely parts about the British Championships. You qualify through the regionals and you race for your region. So, without any further ado, we are literally 1 minute, 2 minutes away from live racing. So we'll see you on track very shortly.
Gate for day number 2. Moto number 1 hits the track. These are your 13-year-olds charging for turn number 1. That looked like Freddie Richardson out of lane number 1, doing it for East Anglia. He's going to pick up the whole shot into the turn. EA going 1 and 2 at the moment. That looks like the Southwest in there in 3. Got to be Riley Schimmel on the 3.2 plate. He's chasing down a top 2 spot, but he's under pressure from the 6.4 of Oliver Taylor, trying to find a way round. That looks like Ben Millington slotting into that 2 spot behind Richardson into that final turn. So Richardson, Millington in that order out of that final corner. EA going 1 and 2 in Moto number 1. And that's how they're going to wrap this one up. Taylor with a late charge for that 3 spot. He's going to pick it up on the line. That looks like Midlands going 1, 2, 3 in this one. In and out of that second corner. Heath Osborne in that 2 spot. Harry Bailey and Isaac Shaw surrounded him into that final turn. It looks like it is Shaw leading it down the final straight. Osborne, Bailey, 2 and 3. That's how they're going to bring it down to the line with a 1.3 of Bruce Anthony in 4. Race 3 on track. Alfie Sims in this one. Nate Hamilton is out front at the moment, being chased down by the rider from the Midlands. That's got to be... As he come around the E2, that is Kobe Rayford. Rayford then hunting down Hamilton as he exits turn number 2. Buttery's in there in 3, Parkinson in 4. That looks like Sim in there as well in about 6, heading into the final turn. The battle is out front, though. Rayford's not done yet. He's putting Hamilton under pressure to the line. Rayford nicks that 1 spot. Race 4 on track, heading towards turn number 2. That looks like Toby Lynch, sorted race gear, and the North leading this one out from Robin Matt and Alonso in the 30.5 in there in 3. That is Oscar Jewell out of Team Air, doing it for the South, heading towards the final turn. Thomas Westmore in there in 4. Alonso, though, all over the back wheel of Lynch as he head down the final straight. Here we go, down to the line. Lynch under pressure. Alonso's going to nick that moto win. Tyres, Guppy, Miller, Mather, Barnes, Cooper, Nesbitt and Young. That looks like the 15.3 of Tyres leading it out from the 22.2. That's Ned Guppy going through in that 2 spot as he come on round. The 1.1 of Harrison Barnes, Adam Nuneaton inside the top 3 heading into that final turn, and back out they go. East Anglia out front. Tyres going to take that moto win with the Southwest and Guppy in 2. Race 6 goes in and out of turn number 1. As they come around, James Cottrell's got to be somewhere near the front, and that is him out front. Your world number 7, charging towards turn number 2. One rider hits the deck from the Southwest, not quite sure who that was. We'll have a look as they come on round, but it looks like Cottrell is under a bit of pressure from what looks like Billy Harrison in that final turn. He's putting in a cracking shift. It's Billy. The 11.2 was the faller. That is Percy Bradley's back up and okay, but it's going to be Cottrell, Harrison, 1 and 2 across the line. Race number 7 hits the track. Couple of riders from the middle of the gate. That looks like Logan Young on the outside, charging towards turn number 1. One of the Scotsmen's hit the deck. I think that was Brody Geddes going down. Not quite sure who the fallen rider was with him. I think that's Adam Stevenson. Both riders back up to their feet, but the North are going at it for that 1 spot at the moment. Where's Henry Shenton after his injuries? In there in 4 at the minute, but it is the 1.4 being chased down by Milo Weller. That is Todd Smith, Notman and Milo Weller 1 and 2. Logan Young in 3. Henry Shenton having a corker of a lap inside the top 4 out of that final turn and down the last straight. The North dominating race number 7. That's how they're going to take it across the line. Put your hands together for Brody Geddes. And of course, Adam Stevenson finishing their laps. Race 8 hits the track. More 13-year-olds, East Anglia, are occupying the inside line, heading for that first corner, but it's all about the South. Newton Hindley from the outside of the gate. He's going to pick up the whole shot into that first turn. Hindley out front. EA going 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 by the looks of it as they bring it back through that second straight. That looks like the 19.3. Maxwell Lawrence chasing down Hindley into turn number 2. The 18.3 of Leo Cranston in there in 3. The 9.3 in 4. That is Declan Vineyard chasing down the front 3 riders into the final turn. Look up the inside. Who's making moves? One of them's got to be Cranston. In that last turn, he's worked his way into that 2 spot. Hindley, Cranston, Lawrence, 1, 2, 3. Race 9 on track. The South leading this one out. That's Elvis Lawrence. Where's Nathaniel Eames? He's in there in that 2 spot, doing it for the North. And Evolved Bicycle Motocross to 6.2 in there as well. That looks like it could be Eddie Millington looking for a way round. Here comes East Anglia getting involved in the action. That's got to be Zach Childs heading in and out of that final turn. Childs has worked his way from 4 to 3 last straight action. It's Lawrence taking it to the line. Who's going to... Oh, it's getting busy down to the line. That one was tight. I think Eames might have just hung on to that 2 spots. Race 10 on track. Where's Ronnie Richards? He's at the front of the pack. Going 1 and 2 with the 12.1 of Dexter Beerup. The 11.5 in there as well. That is Dylan Slatter out of the Hawks, heading towards the final turn. East Anglia getting involved as well in the top 4 action. That is Toby Skinner out of Norwich Flyers. Heading down to the line though, it is going to be Richards out front. Race 11 goes in and out of that first corner. They are led away in the 13-year-old girls by Isla Young, doing it for the South and DC Cycles on that 4.5 plate. Where is the 1.1 of Maddie the Baddie Dixon? She's in there in that 2 spot, looking for a way around the 2.1 in there as well. That is Ellie Moore out of Nuneaton. She's inside the top 4 as they head towards the final turn. That is Sidoni Cleve though, occupying that 3rd spot. Here comes the Baddie down the final straight. She's making a move, looking to go from 2 to 1. This one's going to go to the wire. Maddie the Baddie nicks it. What a lap that was. Race 12 on track. Katie Millar leads this one out on the 3.3. Got the 6.1 in there behind her. That is Rin Giannolino heading in and out of that second corner. Who is the Southwest rider? Isabella Roach chasing them down into the final corner. But it is all out front with East Anglia at the moment. Millar, Moto 1365 race team and the East. She's going to pick this one up across the line with Giannolino in there behind her.
On to race 13 now. The 14-year-old entry. We are moving up the 26.5 and the 0.1. Ben Larkins and the reigning British champion Heath Thomas. These guys having a battle. We've got Decoys Bradley James in there as well, back in 3 but pushing hard. Battle out front. Looks like Larkins is going to hold on to it to the line from Thomas. James is in there in 3 in the 4.5. That was Freddie Gattesco. Race 14, Kingwell, Mason, Furley, Avery, Sanders, Freddie Franklin's in there. Lucas Smith and Eden Boone, the 1.3 of Eden Boone leading it through. 2 guys out of the Southwest, Freddie Franklin in 2. Louis Avery in there in 3. The Midlands rider in 4. That's going to be Stan Mason out of Birmingham. But they are all chasing Eden Boone down towards that finish line. East Anglia taking another moto win. Race 15, Parr, Alton, Caulfield, Cousineau, Kitson, Andrews, Romanelli in there as well. The 2.5, though, Rufus Cousineau is leading it into the corner. The 2.4, Ossian Parr getting involved. There's another South rider trying to work his way in there. Parr makes his move on the inside in the final corner. There's a high-low, big battle coming down the straight. Take Kitson getting involved in it. Kitson and Parr to the line. Parr holds it. Kitson in 2. Cousineau in 3. Race 16, Asher, McSwitty, Barnard, Washbourne, Beat, Groves, Turblanche and Radcliffe. The 3.4, that belongs to Mason Groves, being chased by Henry Radcliffe. Ewan Beats in there inside the top 4, and that's a good place to be in your motos as they go in and out of the turn. It is going to be the 3.4 of Mason Groves taking it. Northwell represented in that one. UNB rounding out that top 4 position. Next up, more 14s. Brendan Killerley in the mid-langs and the north to 23.4 of Lucas Seeley. Not in his usual Rab Racing kit this weekend. Emmy Seawood, our reader of the Riders' Oath, she's in there in 3rd. Battling hard, Harvey Tomlinson in there in 2, I think it is. Enzo Shaw, Dylan Jones, Teddy Headley and Khalil Baptiste in the mix as well. Race 18, Dalton Spirit, Oliver Sim. Happy birthday to his mum Steph, turning 40-10. Watching her boy on track today. He's in the Dalton Spirit going through as well. Sim leading it out into the corner. Big birthday present coming for mum. Alex Dunkley's in there as well. The North going 1, 2, 3. Jacob Warren pushing hard for the South. Sim takes the win. Happy birthday to Steph. Right. 1.4, Oliver James out of Fluent BMX and the North, straight out of Radford. He's there in that lead position, being chased down by Cooper McCrum out of Scotland. The Scottish massive, small in numbers, big in voice. Taking it to the line, the 2.3 and the 8.4. Who else was in there? Theo Cam and Sam Bucock, as we look at the 17.2 of Amos Guppy, leading out moto number 20 by a bit of a distance. Lennon Rose and Addison Milburn in the Lucas Tandy, Dylan Parsons, Remy Colquhoun and Logan Ritchie. But it's the Southwest rider taking it to the line. That would have been Guppy. Race 21, Kai Bowen in this one. Out in front on the W5, absolutely flying. The 2.2 and the 26.1, Ollie Kirby and Logan Widowson. 9.5 belongs to Riley Binney, and the 8.5 is Reed Hughes. All chasing Bowen to the line, though. No one's getting near him. Southwest in there in 2. Midlands in 3, and Reed Hughes of the South in 4. Race 22, Lottie Can't Stop, Won't Stop Brown on the E4 in this one. She's out there in front at the moment, being chased down by the 1.6 and the 6.2. Ailey Watson and Grace Burge. Those young ladies, 2 and 3. Lily Hayes getting involved with Eleni Rushworth. Daisy Knowles from Manchester in the north, in there in about 6 right now as they go in and out down the straight. Lottie Brown takes the win. Moto 23, Orla Cooper, Ruby Walford, Lucy Gardner, Jessie Leasley, Amelia Everly and Ava Wright. And as they come towards the second turn, it is the E5 of Amelia Everly out in front. 11.5 in there in 2. That's going to be Lucy Gardner. Ruby Walford under a bit of pressure now as they go into that final corner. She's back there in 4, just needs to hold on to that top 4 position. Is she going to take it to the line? I think she might just aboard that Evolve BMX. Race 24 onto the 15-year-old boys. Robbie Trowell, Scott McCallum, the 1.5 of Kai Blaney's leading it out. The 9.2 of Louis Pinder in there as well. And McCallum and Elliott are chasing him down. That's going to be Scott McCallum and Elliott Sullivan. The Scottish guys and the South in 3 and 4. It's going to be Kai Blaine to the line, Louis Pinder in 2. Race 25, Lewis.
15-year-old boys on track, the 14.1. We are going through into turn number 2 with the Midlands Alexander Everly on his home track, absolutely charging away from the rest of the pack. There's a couple of South riders in there behind him. One of them looks like it could be Cameron Cox and Samson Townsend heading into that final turn and back out again. A North rider getting involved in the top 4 action. That's Dylan McKenna. He's going to round out them top 4 spots with the 6.5 in there behind him. That was Cameron Cox in at 5. Sean Brown looking to make it 2 motos from 2 for the Midlands. In the last couple of races, he's heading into turn at number 2. Got the 11.1 in his race as well. That is Casper Reynolds. So the Midlands going 1 and 4 at the moment. That looks like it could be Finn Collis in there in that top 2 spot. Under a bit of pressure is the exit turn number 3 though. Heading down the final straight, Zachary Tia chasing Collis down to the stripe. Who's going to get the 2 spot? I think Collis hung on to it as he took it across the line. Race 27, Mackie, Haywood, Smith, Fleming, Foster, Graham and Strong. That is Eli Smith on the 18.4, having a dominating lead in this race with a 15.5 of Angus Graham in there behind him, heading through that 3rd straight into the last turn. The other North rider in the race, Alex Mackie, he's occupying that 3rd spot. East Anglia going through in 4 and 5. That's going to be Jack Strong and Jamie Haywood heading down to the stripe. We are looking at race 28 on track. Cody Coker leading it into turn number 2. He's absolutely flying. The 3.1 in there in that 3 spot, chasing them on through. Ruben Bramley, good to see Ruben on track. Riding for Doncaster BMX Club, Doncaster lad. He's going in and out of that final turn. Chasing down what looks like the 5.2 of Joe Nunn as they head to the line. Race 29, Max Swain on track. This is his home track. His dad is the chairman of the club. He's watching on from the turn, the second turn, sorry, as the 1.4 and the 15.4 go past. That's going to be Caden Dunn, followed by Henry Rayner heading into that final turn. The Southwest in there in that 3 spot. That is Ollie Coppin on the 4.2 riding for Cardiff BMX Club. Don't forget, Cardiff is just open, ladies and gents. They've got some massive training sessions coming up, by the way, with various different riders. Ross Cullen's going to be doing a coaching session over there. We've even got Olympic gold medalist from the most recent games, Saya Sakakibara, coming over for a couple of training sessions. So head over to their social media pages and you can find out all of the details for them coaching sessions as the 3.2 and the 2.2 go through in them 1 and 2 spots. That was Lucas Webster and George Chapman. We are looking at race number 31 on track. European number 3 leading this one through. Got to be Carly Hayes out of the Midlands. Yes, it is. Being chased down by Sophie Elwood as they head towards that final corner. Hayes under pressure from Elwood down that final straight, but it is going to be Hayes hanging on to that moto win. Race 32, 15-year-old girls. Ruby Moores leads this one out for the Midlands. On that 3.1 plate, there's a battle for that 2 spot. That looks like the 2.5 of Megan Roy. Looking up the inside of the world number 4. That's going to be Jess Marriott hanging on to that 2 position for BMXHub.com and East Anglia. In and out of that final turn then. Moores, Marriott down to the stripe. Who's going to get the moto? Moores is going to hang on to it. Roy under pressure pressure from Carruthers. That one was close across the line. That was a stacked moto. Race 33 on track. Annalise Cameron Carter leads this one out from Anya Mata Alonso into that second turn, the 5.5. In there behind her, that's Imogen Cockledon for Ice Bikes and the South. The Southwest going through in 4 and 5. That's Eleanor Curtis and Betty Brewer heading into that final turn and back out again. Last year's British champ Annalise Cameron Carter going to pick up her first moto win of the day. Race 34 on track. 16-year-old boys coming at you through towards turn at number 2. That is the 1.3 leading it out. Jack Clark going 1 and 2 with the 10.1 as he go in and out of that corner. Daniel Henry picking it up as they come on round. East Anglia going 1, 3 and 5 at the minute. Who's the South rider in 4? That's going to be Kieran Grinham heading out of the final turn and down the final straight. It's all about East Anglia out front. One rider exits right on the first straight in race 35. I think that might have been Zach Kennard. That's a 21.3 leads out the moto. Sam Hamling. That looks like Zach switching in there in 3, riding out of the South. His South teammate Ryan Stepanovs in that 2 spot as they just chase each other down that final straight. It is going to be Hamling, Stepanovs and Twitchen in that order. Race 36 hits the track. Callum David, Thomas Duran, Curtis Copeland, Dylan Barlow, Blake McDermott, Charlie Somerville and Bradley Goulding all heading into that first corner. It is the Midlands leading this one out. Gotta be Curtis Copeland on the 11.1. Looking good out front at the moment. Who's in there with him? Got the North in that 2 spot. That's got to be Thomas Duran. In them recognisable pink race pants going 2 and 3 with a 24.3 of Callum David doing it for Braintree BMX Club. The other East Anglian rider in the moto is Bradley Goulding. He's in there in 4, but it's all with Curtis Copeland, Birmingham NRT in the Midlands down the final straight. He's going to pick up that moto win.
Also 37 on track. Richardson came out of gate 1 like a bullet, but he's being shuffled back in the package. Looking like the 7.5, 7.4 even of Finley Hoff. He'll be back here next week for the school games with the North Region team. If you've got an opportunity to come down and watch the North Region and the rest of the guys in that school games competition, definitely worth giving it a whirl. 10.4 in there in 2. That's going to be Max Burgess with the 11.3 of Aidan True. Race 38, Rodri Jones, Elliot Brooks, Zach Chapman, Elliot Albert, James Clitheroe in this one. Out in front for the Midlands. Being chased down by Elliot Brooks as they come out of the turn. Watts is in there in 3. Zach Chapman going through in 4. Logan Upson doing it for East Anglia as well, but they're all chasing Clitheroe to the line. Moto 38. It is free to watch the school games at Loughborough University, I believe. Next Saturday, if you want to go down to Loughborough and watch that one, just be careful with the parking situation. The rules are quite tight as they head in and out of that corner. Jaden Fawcett in there in 2, chasing down Josh Williams. Josh out of the North. Ellis Berry in there as well in that 3rd spot. So it's a North 1, 2, 3 in moto number 39, race 40. Barfield, Millar, Cameron, Toole, Phillips, Warwick and Shaw. Ted Warwick doing it for the South, the 20.5, though Finn Phillips leading out, being pursued by Thomas Millar. Ted Warwick in there in 3, Reece Toole going through in 4, doing it for the North. Jack Shaw out of Cumbernauld in there as well, and the Midlands rider, that is Jacob Barfield, but it's going to go South, East Anglia 1 and 2. Reece Toole's going to get that 4th spot. Race number 41, Jaden Green, James Morrison in this one, Jay Teal, Simpson Davis, he won't be that far from the front, battling with Ollie Kendall, those boys at 1 and 2. Jaden Green in there in 3, that looks like Charlie Granger out of the South going through in 4 with Joseph Bamford of the North in 5. But it's going to be a South 1-2, Kendall and Teal, Simpson Davis across that line. Race 42, 16-year-old girls, Poppy Lamont out of East Anglia, Lexi Arthurs from the Southwest, Carmel Allison also out of East Anglia, Rosie O'Brien from Preston and Fumi Adrami Hepburn out of the South. Fumi in there in 1, Rosie in 2, that looks like the 3.2 of Alexi Arthurs going through in 3, Carmel's in there in 4, Poppy in 5. So it's going to go South, North, Southwest as you 1, 2, 3. Moving on, race 43, more 16-year-old girls. Annabelle Charlton out of the north in this one. Alexa Oyolola from the south in there as well. It's a north 1-2 at the minute, the 6.4. That belongs to Lily Phillips. She's in two, chasing Annabelle down to that final corner. Molly Simpson's in there, Kira Stretch, Lacey Bird as well. So the north well represented in this one. It's a 1-2-3. Annabelle takes that win. Who's going to pick up that fourth? It was the rider from the south. Race 44, 17 and 18-year-old boys, Louis Ketley, Alfie Woon, Oscar Talbot, Josh Sparrow, Kendall Grieg in this one. There's been a crash on that first straight. Dexter Gambay, Theodore Peterkin and Mickey Porter. It's the 23.5 of Dexter Gambay taking it to the line. Your fallers, I think, were Josh Sparrow from Nuneaton and the Midlands. And I have a feeling Alfie Woon went in the same crash. So the two Midlands boys hitting the deck. And we're still picking up one more rider on that first straight. So yeah, don't forget school games next week. Saturday at Loughborough University, just 20 minutes down the road. Flat skills competition. It is free to watch. So if you want to take your rider down there, your 12, 13-year-olds, see what that school games is all about, you can do that. And then there is racing here on the Sunday. I believe you need tickets for the racing here on Sunday. But Derby BMX Club doing another great job. Running 2 events, 2 weekends on the bounce. So you can watch the flat skills competition on Saturday, which is actually quite good because they do a lot of different stuff. And you get people from different disciplines watching as well. Yeah, so it was Josh and Alfie having a roll round on the floor. Yeah, there's nothing worse than wearing knee pads and then having them slide down. And the other rider was the East Anglia rider. That was Mickey Porter. Race 45 got Scurry Curry out of East Anglia in lane 8 in this one with his mate Freddie Cadman Carpenter right there next to him. Green, Hamblin, Benacris, Brown, Bamford and Almeida into turn number 1. It's a 1-2-3 for East Anglia right now. It all depends on the order as they head towards us. That looks like Freddie Cadman Carpenter out in front, the 0-1 with that very familiar red helmet on. In there in the lead, 13.3 and the 14.3. Scurry Curry comes unclipped. Hamblin goes past him. Kean Brown's getting involved. Benacris out of the top 5. Oh, 2 riders hitting the deck in that next moto as they go in and out of the final turn. Taking the win, that is going to be Freddie Cadman Carpenter. So Ethan Chandler was one of the riders who went down in that crash. It's already getting heavy as they go down that first straight. 22.5 and the 5.2. Whoops, people sliding out in the turn. Arne Esselmont, he'll probably give us a little bit of style. He wants to win that 2 in 1 out. Launch off the, yeah, there we go. Launches off, and the guy behind him as well. So if you want to win some 2 in 1 out merchandise, you got to launch yourself off that last roller. Race 46, I think, on track now. No, 47. Millbank, Holloway, Seaward, Fitzsimmons, Putland, Matthew Cowlard, Grieg and Smith. Jaden Seaward out of the north in there inside the top 3. Also does it for Hard Knocks Bike Coaching. But it is the 25.5 of Reuben Smith leading it out of the turn. Oh, I heard a crack there as somebody came out of the corner. Somebody might need to check a hub of some description. Alfie Holloway in there in 4, doing it for the Southwest. And the Seaward going through in that 2 spot with Owen Putland in 3. More crashes on that first straight. Race 48, Lewis Longley in this one, Luke Morris, Lewis Fletcher, and it is Fletcher out there in front, being pursued by the 17.3 of Luke Morris. Alex Stokes out of the north, in there in that top 4 position, but he's got a rider on his back wheel, and I think that is Alfie Holloway. Can Alex Stokes hold it to the line? Yes, he can. One of our fallers, I've got a feeling that was Thomas Grieg. He went down. No, it was the 2.4. That was Cody Whittaker. Normally out of the Brunty Massive. It looks like an 8.5, Flynn Sanders.
Right back into the thick of the action. One rider goes over the gate in race number 49. I think that was Sam Smith out of the southwest, heading towards that first turn. Then a rider out of the north, George Gerard. He's going to lead this one out with Zach Green. He's in the middle of the pack at the minute, in about fourth. But it looks like Gerard has got two riders from the south chasing him towards turn number 2. That's going to be the 2 and the 6.5 as they go in and out. Che Young and Keanu Schaefer-Cohen. Then two guys are going 2 and 3 at the moment. That's Green in there in 4. Gerard under pressure from Young down the final straight. Gerard, Young down to the wire. Who's going to get this one? That one was tight. I think Gerard might have just hung on to it. 19 to 29-year-olds are now on track. They're moving up in age group. Gotta be Billy Lucas leading this one out. 80.5 on his plates. Heading towards turn number 2. Doing it for the south. He's got a 5.4 of Kenny Phillips in 3. And that looks like Josh Wallace from East Anglia in there in 2. So Lucas, Wallace, Phillips, 1, 2, 3. Look at how close they are as they head down the final straight. Lucas looking like he might hang on to this one, but he's under pressure from Wallace. Wallace will nick it on the line. That looks like Callum Chubb Maple leading out the next moto in the 19 to 29-year-olds at W7 of Neil Brunier, just being shuffled back to that 3 spot, but he's on the inside of Ross Sharp in turn 2. They're having a good old battle as he enters that 3rd straight, heading towards the final turn, but it's all with Callum Chubb Maple out of the southwest down the final straight. He's going to take that moto win. Brunier's hanging on to that 2 spot. Sharp's going to round out them podium spots. Tyrese Bradshaw, Mabo UK and the Midlands on track. Heading for turn number 2 as cool and calm as you like. He's got the E4 of Ryan Stack in there behind him from the southwest. That's Josh Izzard in there in 3. Then 2 guys looking safe and clear into that final turn. Brett Dove is in the mix as well. Inside the top 5, looking for a way around the south rider as they head down the final straight. That's Jason Daly just being shuffled back to that 5 spot as Dove takes that top 4. Race 53, more 19 to 29-year-olds. That looks like the 3.4 of Ollie Cope. Leading it into the turn, the 22.3, Josh Bolton. Good to see Josh back on track. He's in there in that 2 spot, being chased down by Kyle Hill. So Team EA going through in 2 and 3 at the moment. Connor Hedges in there in 4, chasing Hill down the final straight. That looks like Lewis Giles out of Who Is Crow and the South in 5. 17 to 29-year-old women now. Race 54 on track. That's Hannah Drew leading this one out, the 13.5, being chased down by the 3.2 plate of Lauren Hill. Molly Nice, where is she? She's on track somewhere or thereabouts. She's in 3 at the moment. It's her birthday today. She's turning 21, so if you see Molly around the track, wish her a happy birthday. And she's smashing it at the moment inside that top 3 spot. But it's with Hannah Drew down the final straight. She's going to take this moto win down to the stripe with the 3.2 in there behind her. That was Lauren Hill. More 17 to 29-year-old women's action heading into that second corner, the 11.2 leading this one out. That looks like the North in there in 3. Got to be Imogen Gibson on the 7.4 plate. Looks like the Scots just been shuffled back to 3. That's Tilly McCrum just working her way through at the moment. She's in that 3rd spot, chasing down the front 2 riders. The 11.2 leading out though is Megan Kirby under pressure from Gibson at the line, but Kirby hangs on. Race 56, Beck, Park, Godfrey Firth, Mohan and Et Marney all heading towards turn number 2. That's the 1.1 of Lottie Et Marney. Out front, the 3.3 of Remy Godfrey, and there behind her in that 2 spot, doing it for Team EA. That's Taylor Lee Mohan inside the top 3 spots, doing it for the South. The other South rider in the mix as well, that's Louise Beck on the 1.5 plate. She's inside the top 4, heading down the final straight. That's got to be Olivia Firth in there in 5, just working her way through. She's going to go from 5 to 4 on the line, and that was Ellen Parr in 6. Lily Chiswell retained her 0-1 on a cruiser yesterday. She wants to pick up that 0-1 today as well in the 17 to 29-year-old women's category, and she's leading out this moto, doing a cracking job at the moment for the Midlands. Looking like we have got the North in at 2 and 3, heading down that final straight. Who's going to pick up them spots to bring it down? That's Juhig in there in 3, and the 2 spot was occupied by Caitlin Ellis out of Absolute Bicycle Motocross. Looks like we've lost a 1.1 in this moto. That's David White. He's back onto his pedals and finishing his lap. John Livingston, though, leading this one out. The Southwest in there with him. Could be Nathan Abbott. Yes, it is Abbott under pressure. Darren Utley's making moves in that final corner and throws it underneath and takes a top 2 spot. Your British champ picking up the moto win. Utley into Abbott, rounding out the podium spots. That's got to be Sean, hasn't it?
Yeah, that 84-year-old white frame that he rides, that's what it is.
Good to see Sean back on track. Saw him doing a few regionals this year. Was scoping out some of the talent yesterday as well. I was watching over on the first tour with his 2 kids. He's leading out this moto. His legs are holding up just about with the 1.2 in there with him. That was, the 2.1 of Billy Irwin. He takes the 2 spot in that moto. 30 plus women on track. Rebecca Gold, Ornella McGarvey-Miles, Savannah Carver, Claire Albert and Anita Wong. It is your British champion leading this one out. Rebecca Gold, Sav Carver in 2, Anita Wong in there in 3. That is McGarvey Giles out of R&B Cycling Union, and the South in there inside the top 4 spots as they take it down to the line with Claire Albert in 5.
Right, we are moving on to moto number 61, the 30 plus females, Burston, Chiziwa, Batsford, Hill, Barry, all in this one. Fiona Barry out of the Titans in there in 5 at the minute. Abby Hill doing it for the East Anglia Massive over there on the final straight. Nice to see Abby on track. She's in there in 3, Burston in there in 2, but it is the 2.5 of Kim Batsford leading it into the corner. 1.1 getting involved as well. That's going to be Annie Chiziwa, cruiser yesterday, 20-inch today. So double biking it this weekend as they come in and out of that final turn. It's going to be Batsford, Burston, Barry. Sounds like a firm of solicitors from somewhere, but not. It's the top 3 in this moto. Moving on to the veterans, Miller, Woodcock, Moore, Barnard, Justin Somerville, Danny Taylor, George Salmon and Big Nige Smith in this one as well. Delighted to see Rich Moore back on track, one of the guys behind SourceBMX.com. Back to his racing roots. Last time I saw him on a bike, he had short hair and he was riding a profile. He was every inch the cool, polished dude that he actually still is. Well done, Rich. I said Rich Moore instead of Mark Moore. That just makes it even funnier because Rich isn't even here. Right, veterans still on with it. Matthew Eaton in there in 2, Rich Taylor, Steve Manning, Ian Milne. And the 2.4, that is Rich Taylor. Going across the line, moto number 64. Andrew Mackey doing it for the North. Got Mario Berno, Adam Boudet, Chris Mountcastle, Grant Yerbury, Zoltan Boudet, Lee Carrick in this one, and Hayden Taroa. And as they head towards the line, it is going to be the 2.1. I think that is Lee Carrick crossing the line. Out in front, as we move on to race 65, Steele, Fowl, Dixon, Downs, Watson, Martinez, Parr and Martin. Benjamin Martinez out in front, Fraser Watson in there in 2. That's Mark Steele in there in 3, being chased down by Martin Parr. Rounding out the top 4 with Dylan Dixon in 5. It's going to be Martinez cruising it across the line with Watson. Race 66, Basil Hull, Keith Julie, Jim Dirt. Good to see him back on the track. Mark Taylor, Rob Clark in there as well. Not seen Rob for many, many years. We used to race each other back in the day. Always a good time. It's great to see him back on track. Gary Carver, Keith Brown, Kevin Reynolds and Craig Hughes. The 8.1 is Kevin Reynolds out of Telford. But as they come down towards the line, it is going to be the 17.5 of Keith Brown taking it the line, followed by the 2.4 of the 7.5. That will be Gary Carver and Keith Julie. Race 67 onto the Grand Veterans now. Alan Hill leading it out. Timmy Turnbar's in there as well. Brett Knight, Jonathan Charlesworth, Alan Hill, Lee Hunt, Nigel White, Big Nige in the mix. and Chris Taylor as well. Race 68, Grand Veterans ongoing. Goff, Trevina, Hassel wanting to make up for the disaster he had on the cruiser yesterday. Steve Hassel leading this moto out, being chased down by Michael Goff. South Region are in there as well. Patrick Graham, Dominic Elliott, Stephen Fortune doing it for the Midlands, and Neil Waddington out of the Southwest. Aboard that S&M bike on the clip pedals. Big contradiction in terms, but still going fast. Race 70. Harmer, Bounds, Simpson, Chalice, and the Gainer. Oh no, hang on, we've moved on. Junior Open, I've missed one, sorry, do apologise. Gabe Simpson, Miller Hughes, Jimmy Criddle. Harvey Fawcett, Flynn Drellincourt in this one as well. Danny J. Monforte, Jared Hill, and Ned Penny. Far too fast for me. Championship women, Cody Harmer on the inside. Freya the Slayers in this one as well. Elizabeth Bound, Lucy Simpson, and Taya Gaynor. Lots of representation from East Anglia in this one, going 1 and 2 out of the turn. It's going to be Freya Chalice out there in front. Taya Gaynor will be chasing her down in that second position, but they are all pushing hard into the turn. The E5 of Maggie Bound battling away with the 1-4-3, and that belongs to Lucy Simpson. But Chalice, fresh off those GCSE results, taking it to the line. She gets the win, and Taya Gaynor in 2. First rack of Superclass leaving the gate. Taylor Hunt, Cameron Reid, Ross Cullen, Bradley Russell, Casey Markley, Cal Strickland, and Harry Tanner. All the heavy hitters in this one. Cameron Reid getting involved inside the top 3 right now. Looks like the rider out front is going to be Cal Strickland, I think, possibly. Or is it Ross Cullen? It's Ross Cullen. Cullen out there in 1, Russell in 2, Reid in 3, Cal Strickland in 4. Harry Tanner throwing an elbow in that turn. Reid out of Scotland still going well, maintaining that top 3. It's going to be Ross, the boss, Cullen, fresh off the Olympics, taking that win. Cameron Reid with the top 3. Superclass heading down the hill. Paddy Sharrock in this one. We have got George Hunt in there as well. Charlie Roy, William Good, Dean Reeves, Harrison Collis, Josh Marnham, and Jay Boville. It is Sharrock leading out the minute. Jay Boville will be right there with him as they head towards that turn. Sharrock in 1, Marnham in 2, Hunt's in there in 3. That's Dean Reeves, your Moroccan Olympian, in there inside the top 4. In and out the turn. Paddy tells me his full lap legs are not quite there anymore. I'm sure they'll be there in the final later on. Apparently, if you need a between races massage, Magic Manda's Healing Hands of Heaven are available over in the Trader Village. You can get yourself a massage between races, stop those legs from cramping up. Magic Manda's Healing Hands of Heaven.
That is the first rack of motos done and dusted, ladies and gents. We are back around to kick off with the 13-year-olds. Moto number 1 of the second rack. This is race 73, heading for turn number 1. Todd Smith-Notman has had a great start. He's looking to pick up the whole shot into the turn. Who's in there with him? Brody Geddes. After his tumble in race 1, he's back on track, chasing down Notman through that second straight. Who's picking up a top 3 spot? That's Ben Millington on the 17.3, the 11.5 in there as well. Oh, he hits the deck. Heading into turn 2, that was defrogged by the looks of it. Dylan Slatter. He's straight back up to his feet though. Wants to finish his lap. Put your hands together for Dylan as Notman picks up that moto win. Geddes under pressure at the line, but he's cheered on through the stripe by the Scottish crew. who are just about waking up by the sounds of it. That looks like tyres, leading out race 74. The 14.4 in there in 3, that's Milo Weller doing it for the Brunty Massive. Heath Osborne in that 2 spot. Bringing it on out of that final turn, it is going to be tyres. Osborne, Weller, 1, 2, 3. Who's in there in 4? Looking like Ronnie Richards out of the south. Race 75 on track. Kobe Rayford, European number 2, leading this one through. Who's that in the 2 spot? Looking like Toby Lynch with the 1.1 in 3. That is Harrison Barnes, a 6.4 in there behind him. That's Oliver Taylor out of the north. So the Midlands are going 1 and 3 at the moment. Rayford is dominant as you like. He's going to pick up that first moto win. Second moto win, of the day. Race 76 heading into that first corner. Nathaniel Eames is on the inside in this one. Your race leader, though, looking like Ned Guppy from the southwest. He's going 1 and 2 with Nate Hamilton as they head through that second straight. The 2.1 is in there in 4. That's got to be Billy Harrison chasing down the 2.5 of Newton Hindley. In and out of that second corner. Eames in there in 5, chasing towards the final turn. Look at the moves being made out front. Hamilton times his execution perfectly and goes from 2 to 1. Hamilton, Guppy, 1 and 2. Hindley, Harrison and Eames 3, 4 and 5. Jewel, McFarlane, Cooper, Cranston, Knowles, Duffy, Wood and Waterhouse. It is a 30.5 leading this one out though. Oscar Jewel, the 7.5 in there behind him. That is looking like Will Knowles out of Crank BMX Coaching and the North. East Anglia in the mix as well inside the top 3. That's Leo Cranston on the 18.5. Bit of a gap for them front 3 riders. They're just going to relax their way down to the line with Jewel out front. Race number 78. 1 rider down on the first straight by the looks of it. Rider out of the southwest, that was Alfie Underhill. He's back up to his feet though, finishing his lap. Put your hands together for Alfie. As we look at the north, going at 1 or 2 out front. Noah Buttery, James Cottrell. It's Buttery leading it. Cottrell, your world number 7. Took the 0-1 on his cruiser yesterday, had a cracking day. I'm sure he'll be there or thereabouts later on and come at final time at race 79 now on track then. Elvis Lawrence heading towards turn number 1. He's going to pick up that whole shot. Don't forget about the whole shot awards, guys. They were given out last night at the presentation. Every single final this weekend has got a whole shot award. So bear that in mind when it comes to finals later on. We have, of course, got the scores loop in there on the first turn as well. So scores will tell us all. And they will be handed out at the presentation at the end of the day, where we have the national and the British championships presentation for the age groups that are racing today only. So everyone that raced yesterday, their age groups, they had their presentations yesterday. As we take a look at Isaac Shaw and Henry Shenton. Where's Becky? She's over on that first straight somewhere. She was screaming her heart out. He's absolutely smashing that, is Henry. Heading out of the final turn, he had a massive injury a few months ago, and he's only just been back on his bike about a week and a half, something like that, and he smashed that. So we are now looking at Freddie Richardson leading this moto. He's going to 1 and 2 with Robin Matt Alonso heading into turn number 2. As they come on round, that is Parkinson in 3. Who's in 4? Got to be Dexter Beer up out of the Midlands, but it's all about East Anglia around the south at the moment. Here comes Alonso. He's cracking down this final straight. He's chasing Richardson to the line. Who's going to get the moto win? That one was as close as you like. Race 82 now on track. Alfie Sim in this one. He's in there with Reese Duggan, Harry Bailey, Jacob Nesbitt, Adam Stevenson, Samuel Rollison and Maxwell Lawrence. Looks like Bailey and Lawrence are out front. Good to see Adam Stevenson back on his bike after his tumble earlier on. He's picking up a top 3 spot in and back out of that final turn, but it is out front with the 21.1. Harry Bailey taking that moto win. 13-year-old girls on track. Sidoni Cleve in this one, Libby Coppin in the mix as well. That looks like Isabella Rowe. In there in 3, chasing down Rin Giannolino and your race leader. That is the 3.3 of Katie Millar. Heading into that final turn out front, so Millar, Giannolino, Rowe, 1, 2, 3, Cleves in 4, the South Rider in 5. Looking like that could be Ella Blue Chidley heading down to the stripe. That's how they're going to wrap this one up. Race 84 on track. Second rack of the 13-year-old girls for the second moto. Looks like Maddie the Baddie's hit the deck after a winning moto number 1, but she's back up to her feet with the other fallen riders as well. I think Arlie Young was one of them. Let's hope that all of them riders are okay, possibly Matilda Sacharu. As we look to the front of the pack, that is the North leading this one through. Lexi Cairns under pressure though from the 2.1 of Ellie Moore as they head down the final straight. Cairns, Moore, 1 and 2. That's how they're going to take it across the line. That was Sacharu in 3. Put your hands together for Maddie the Baddie, ladies and gents. Isla Young finishing a lap as well, and it was Sophie Coulson, the other faller. All 3 riders finishing their laps. 14-year-old boys hit the track in race number 85, heading for the first turn. That looks like it could be Eden Boone, I think that was on the inside. Jacob Washburn, sorry, out of the southwest. He's in there at about 5 in a minute. It looks like Boone is leading this one away in race 85. That looks like the world number 3. Emmy Seward in that 2 spot under pressure from the 4.5 of Freddie Gattesco. In and out of that second turn they go. Gattesco looking for a way through into that final turn, but it's all about Boone out front, your regional champion on the 1.3 plate. He's going to take that moto win.
Right, moto number 86, Avery, Chapman, Milburn, McSwitty, Turblanche, McCrum and Tomlinson. And it is Harvey Tomlinson heading towards us in 1, Cooper McCrum in 4. He's chasing down the 4.2 of Louis Avery and the 14.4 of Eric McSwitty. Addison Milburn on the 8.2, doing it for the Southwest. He's in there in about 6 at the moment. But it's Tomlinson to the line. Is the Southwest rider going to pick up the 2? No, I think McSwitty nicked him at the line. Race 87, Dunkley, Kelly, Hannah, Thomas, Barnard, Cranage, Alton and Mason. Heath Thomas in 1. Alex Dunkley going through in 2. The Midlands guys are 3 and 4, and that is Edward Alton in that 5th spot. Doing it for the North region, and Bradford, Finley Cranage battling away with Chase Barnard for that 3 and 4 as they take it to the line. Race 88, Lucas Seeley out in front for the North region. Lucas Smith, Logan Ritchie, Henry Radcliffe, Ossie and Parr won't be that far away. He's in there in 2. The 4.3, that is Lucas Smith in that 3rd spot. Southwest rider Henry Radcliffe going through in 4. Blake Connolly, Reed Hughes and Riley Binney in there as well. But it's going to be Seeley and Parr to the line, 1 and 2. Followed by Lucas Smith in 3. Race 89. Austin Sanders, Logan Widdowson, Tate Kitson, Khalil Baptiste, Tom McGovern, Santiago Matanos, Toby Sturgis and Theo Cam. 1.5 of Tate Kitson out there in front. Southwest rider Thomas McGovern in there in 2, battling away with the rider out of the Midlands. And that is going to be Logan Widdowson, who's inside the top 3. Theo Cam also doing it for East Anglia. He went through in 4. Race 90, Hall, Warren, Rose, Kingwell, Kai Bowen, Ewan B, Sam Bucock and Rufus Cousineau. Oh, Rufus Cousineau did well to hold on to that then. Got a little bit squirrely as he approached that turn. Ewan Beats having a great lap in there in 3. But they are all chasing Kai Bowen, the W5. All the way down to the line. He's going to be a tough ass to beat that young man later on. Also 91, Lucas Tandy, Oliver Sim. Oliver in there in that 3rd spot, chasing down the 1.4 of Oliver James, who nearly slid out in that corner. And yeah, out in front, it is the rider from the south. Got a feeling that's going to be Ben Larkins. It is. Larkins taking it to the stripe. And the 2.5, 26.5, sorry. Try again, Rich. 22.4 of Isaac Caulfield. Race 92, Liam Wilson, Freddie Franklin, Dylan Parsons. Franklin out in front. Mason Groves going through in 2. Parsons in there in 3. That's going to be Caden Elkindi going through in 4. Don Spirit trying to get in the mix, as is the rider from the Titans and Scotland. That's going to be Liam Wilson. Getting very busy in that one. Brandon Killerly going through as well for Mid-Lancs and the North. 17.2, 1.2 and 2.2. All the 0.2s. Amos Guppy, Ollie Kirby and Bradley James. That is the 3 riders you want in front of a moto. Absolutely flying. Scottish rider in there in 4 is going to be David Furley. And Amos Guppy in there 2. Actually, was it? Yeah, it was. Right, on to the 14-year-old girls. Everly Wright, Knowles, Watson, Brown, Hayes and Cooper. And it is Lottie Can't Stop, Won't Stop Brown battling away with her good friend, Amelia Reveley. Amelia out there in 1, Lottie in 2. Ailey Watson out of Scotland in there in 3, Lily Hayes from East Anglia in 4, Ola Cooper in 5. And the North Massive are 6 and 7. That is going to be Ava Wright and Daisy Knowles. Race 95, Lottie McFarlane, Lucy Gardner. Ruby Walford right in the middle of the pack there in 3rd. Eleni Rushford, Jessie Leasley and Grace Burge. Burge out in front. That looks like the East Anglia rider McFarlane in 2, Walford in 3. Eleni Rushford out of Royston in there as well. But the win is going to go to the 6.2 of Grace Burge. Race 96, 15-year-old boys, Shaw, Penton Vogue, Foster, Trowell, Trevina, Chapman, McKenna and Bramley. Dylan McKenna inside the top 4, being chased by Thomas Shaw. We've got Joe Penton Vogue leading it out, I think, into that final corner. Being chased down by the rider from the Midlands. Got a feeling that is Trevina as they head down towards the line. Race 97, Lewis.
More 15-year-old boys on track. That looks like it could be Shay Jordan in that 2 spot with your race leader on the 1.5. That is Kai Blaine doing it for Team Air. In and out of that second turn. Sorry, Casper Reynolds occupying that 3 spots. He's going 2, 3 and 4. That looks like it could be Harry Amos inside that top 4 spot, heading down the final straight, but it's all about Kai Blaine out front. Southwest going 1 and 2 in race number 98. That looks like it could be Louis Pinder scrapping it out with Joe Nunn heading for the second corner. It is going to be Pinder leading it from Nunn as they go in and out of the 13.1. Inside that top 3, Max Swain having an absolute killer of a lap. He's heading into that final turn. Inside that top 3 spot, Angus Graham in 4 riding out of the south. The Scottish rider just coming under a bit of fire in that final turn. That was Alexander Furs. He just dropped to the back of the pack momentarily, but what a ride that was from Max Swain inside the top 3. Never Reveley on track, absolutely charging into that second turn. His Midlands teammate Sean Brown is in there making moves, looking for a way round what looks like Finn Collis, heading into that final corner. Yes, it is Finn. He's occupying that 3 spot now as Brown's made his move.
Jake Asher to admin, please.
Jake Asher, if we could have you to admin immediately, please. We have got your transponder. That's Jake Asher to admin as immediately, please. We've got your transponder. Thank you. 2 riders down in the first turn. 2 riders out of the north, actually, by the looks of it. I think that might have been Alex Mackey, maybe Henry Rayner. One of them's back up. Cody Coker it is, though, out front. What a lap that was from Cody. That looks like the Scottish crew, Scott McCallum in that 2 spot. The Scottish crew going wild on that last straight. McCallum takes the 2 spot on the line. I think it was Mackey and Rayner that hit the deck. Alex Mackey's going to finish his lap. Put your hands together for Alex. Henry's back up to his feet, walking away. Race 101 hits the track then. That's Caden Dunn on the inside, as smooth as you like, through that first straight at the moment. He's going to pick up the whole shot in this moto. Look at that. He's spinning to win in that first corner. So the North leading it from a couple of South riders as they go through that 32nd straight. That's going to be Zachary Tia working his way around the outside of the 4.5 as he head into the corner. Samson Townsend just being shuffled back then, but it is still South going through in 2 and 3. The Midlands in there as well. That's Oliver Muhar picking up a top 4 spot at the moment. Where it's all about Caden Dunn, the North down the final straight. He's going to pick up that moto win on that 1.4 bike. Race 102, Ollie Coppins in this one. Where is he? He's got to be in that top 4 spot, having a good old battle with a couple of South riders, heading for turn number 2. Coppin just being shuffled back then by the 6.5. Who has worked his way in. That's going to be Cameron Cox, now occupying that 2 spot. Who's out front though? Looking like Eli Smith is chasing down Lucas Webster. Smith's made his move in that final turn and made it sneak down the final straight. He's going to take that moto win. Webster takes 2. Race 103 on track. We are looking at the 15-year-old girls. Ruby Moores leads this one out on the 3.1, playing the 1.5, and there behind her, that is Sabina Ashman. Laurie Ann Carruthers in there in 3, so the Midlands are well represented at the moment in 1 and 3. Can the Carruthers find a way round Ashman to make it a Midlands 1 and 2 down the final straight? Ashman under fire, heading down to the line. Carruthers with a late charge. I think she's going to nick that 2 spot right behind Ruby Moores out front. Second rack of the 15-year-old girls in this second set of motos. Carly Hayes, European number 3, leads it from the W4. There's a bucket load of accolades and titles for the girls in this age group, and there's a couple of them in this one at the moment. Hayes, Marriott, Elwood, 1, 2, 3. Charging down the final straight. Marriott's not done yet. She's going to make her move and go from 2 to 1 and pounce on the line and pick up that moto win. McCartney, Cockrell, Brewer, Radcliffe, Roy and Atherton. It is the South out front, 2.5 Megan Roy being chased out by the 5.5 of Imogen Cockrell in race 105. Who's the Southwest rider in there in 3? That's Betty Brewer. Out of decoy BMX Club being chased down by Alexis McCartney in that wicked Scottish jersey. She goes in and out of that final turn. McCartney chasing down the final straight. Has she got enough left for Brewer? I don't think she's going to get close enough, but it was all about the South out front. 16-year-olds on track. Where's Tom Millar? He's in there in about that 2 spot, I think. On the 20.3, yes he is having a good old battle with Hamlet, so it is Team East Anglia in 2 and 3 at the minute, but your race leader is the North, looking like that could be the 7.4, I think it was, yes it is. That's going to be Finn Hart for picking up that moto win. Race 107, Shaw, McDermott, Stone, Clitheroe, Morgan, Berry, Kendall and Thompson. Ollie Kendall, James Clitheroe out front, the European number 3 looking for a way round. Ollie Kendall in and out of that second corner. Kendall still leading it though, that's Ellis Berry in there in 3, doing it for the Midlands and the North. In and out of that final corner, here comes Clitheroe, doing it for the Midlands. Has he made the switch? Was it James? Yeah. Oh, he's made the switch from the North to the Midlands. Oh, okay, right, that explains it. There we go. The more you know, as we look at race 108, heading into that second corner, Tom Duran out front, Bluebird in that 2 spot. That is, of course, Jade Seal, Simpson Davies, Zach switching inside the top 3, the South coming 2 and 3 at the moment. Who's the rider out of the North in there in 4, heading down the final straight. That looks like it could be Max Burgess out of Preston.
Right, got a feeling it's Stefanovs and Chapman who went 1 and 2 into that first turn in moto 109 as they head towards the second corner. Stefanovs it was out in front, the 11.3 of Aiden True in there in that 3rd position, being followed by the 3 and the 5. That's going to be Bradley Goulden and the 5 of Elliot Wilmot as they go in and out that final corner. So it's going to be Stefanovs taking the win, Chapman in 2. Moto 110, Toole, McGrail, Alexander, Upson, Lebras, David and Jaden Forsey in there for the Northern Hard Knocks Bike Coaching, leading it out towards turn number 2. 11.4, Reece Toole chasing him down. Lebras getting involved, he's in there in 3 with Callum going through in that 4th spot. That's going to be Callum David out of East Anglia, but it's going to be Forsey taking it to the line, doing it for the new business in the family, which is Enfuse Sports Nutrition. As we move on to race 111, Finn Phillips. If he never rides an orange bike, I'll never spot him ever again. Josh Williams in there in that 2nd position. Every bike he rides from now has to be orange. Billy McDermott, Daniel Henry, Charlie Somerville, Charlie Granger and Tommy Haddleton. Williams with that strong 2nd place finish. Good stuff. 112 is Yamamoto, Marku Reynolds in this one, but it's Curtis Copeland leading it out. In there in 1, Roberts going through in 2, Kennard in 3, Zach Kennard out of the South. North Region are in there in 4, that's going to be Joe Bamford. As they head towards the line, Copeland is going to pick up the win. Race 113, Jack Clark, Elliot Brook, Ted Warwick in this one, Niall O'Connell, Isaiah Jackson, Jaden Green and Alfie Richardson. It's the 1.4 of Elliot Brook leading it through. Jaden Green in there in 2, Jack Clark in 3. That's going to be Ted Harvey in there in 4. Isaiah Jackson pushing hard for East Anglia. It's going to be a North 1-2 though in moto number 113 with Brook and Green. 16-year-old girls, Oyalola, Arthurs, O'Brien, Hepburn, Lamont and Birds. They're in and out of the turn. Femi Adrumi Hepburn out in 1. Rosie O'Brien already picks up a national win. She's in there in 2. The South in 3, Southwest in 4, South in 5, and East Anglia in 6. That'll be Poppy Lamont. As we move on, the 2 riders from the north. That's Lily Phillips and Annabelle Charlton battling away. And Kira Stretch in there in that 3rd spot as the wind starts to pick up here at Derby. Annabelle Charlton taking it to the line. Molly Simpson in there as well, and the 4.3 of Carmel Allison. 116 is your moto on track right now. 2.3 of Owen Putland being chased down by the 2 and the 6. That's going to be Che Young and Keanu Schaefer-Cohen. Those guys are 2 and 3. Jaden Seawards should be in there as well, or is he? No, he's in that. He's the one after. Sorry, mixed them up. It was Eric Bamford. Callum Daly was in there too. Now we move on. Freddie Cabin Carpenter chasing down Jaden Seawards into that second turn. The East Anglia guys lined up like an aerobatic display team into that second corner. What are you laughing at? Chuckling away. Kieran Browning Parsons doing it for the Southwest. We need to get some random comments in, don't we? I got Slobber Knocker in there yesterday.
I've got one that I've been asked
at the request of Eric Grindle from USA BMX, who'll be watching later on. I had to Google it to find out what it meant. It's something to do with like a severe impact. It's a very American phrase, yeah. I think it's from boxing, that's where it's from. Right, I'm lost now. No idea where I'm up to. Ben, yeah, that's it. 119. Bradley George, Ben Fitzsimmons, 8.4. George Gerrard. The South are in there. That looks like Mr. Lewis Longley going through in 4. Had a quick chat with Mum Karen yesterday. Lovely to see her. So always nice to see the Longleys. I think the dog is... Whoa, 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 whoa. It's getting a bit fresh. Wow. Hey, the window came in. Don't take out the lovely people from BMX Race Hub. Yeah, which reminds me, if you do want BMX Race Hub merch, you can head over to B73 and get your BMX Race Hub t-shirts. There are 3 of each size so far, but you can order them off Dave if they've not got your size. 20 quid for the t-shirts. All the money goes back, well, a portion of the money goes back into supporting BMX Race Hub, so we can keep these free live streams going, which is always a good thing. And if you want to see what the t-shirts look like, and you happen to see me walking around, I'll be wearing mine. And it's also on Instagram as well, on the BMX Race Hub Instagram and on my Instagram as well, at BMX Commentator. So yeah, BMX Race Hub t-shirts, get yours. And while you're over in the Trader Village, be sure to visit all of our traders. Green Machine, Sorted, Crucial, Pure, Waco are over there. Okay, the World and Euro Rider Parade will be after the 8th. World and Euro Rider Parade after the 8th. I have no idea where we're up to. Pass. All right, I'll let you carry on then, Lewis. You know where we're up to?
Wonderful, where they are. Race 122, right. Ryan Stack leads this one out. Josh is on in there with him. It's going to be Southwest and East Anglia 1 and 2 heading down to the line. That was Lewis Childs in there in 3. Race 1, 2, 3 on track. Daly Phillips, Wallace Cope, Dover, Hayes and Head all on track. Looking good for Ronnie Cope out front. Who's in there in 2? Phillips is under a bit of pressure. Here comes Josh Wallace looking for a move on the inside in turn 2. Makes it stick. Look at Luke Davies. Hayes throw moves on Brett Dove as well. Dove's just being shuffled back from about 3 to 5. It got busy in that second corner, but it's all about Cope out front. And the North region, he's going to pick up that moto win. Race 1, 2, 4 on track. Tyrese Bradshaw leading this one out. He didn't need to get that spare pair of clips. You'll know what I mean. In and out of that second corner, looking good out front. He won't be happy about that one either. Billy Luckhurst, Neil Brunez in that 3 spot, looking for a way around Luckhurst down the final straight, the south going through in 2 and 3. It is going to be Brunez taking that 2 spots as he moves on through. We are looking at race 1, 2, 5, Chadwick, Dixon, Butson, Hill, Maple, Randall and Britton. It is Callum Sharp Maple, wanting to make it 2 from 2 moto wins so far. Josh Butson, Carl Hill, 2 and 3, Finn Randall in there in 4. The other East Anglian rider in there as well. That's going to be Jake Britton out of Braintree in 5. Maple though out front with that moto win. The 17 to 29-year-old girls on track. Lily Cheswa, Team Midlands out front, looking good at the moment. Team Amo UK, that's going to be Imogen Gibson in that 2 spot, riding out of the north. Taylor Lee Mohan just gets it a little bit wrong into turn 2. Was trying to work her way from 3 to 2, but she'll have to hang on to that 3 spot at the moment. But she's under pressure from birthday girl Molly Nice, who looks up the inside but didn't dive underneath. Mohan tees up a high-low of her own on Gibson, heading down that final straight. It's going to be Cheswa out front. Who's going to get the 2 spot? That one was as close as you can get. More 17 to 29-year-old girls on track. Southwest out front, 1 and 2, the 11 and 3.2. That's going to be Megan Kirby and Lauren Hill heading into that final turn. Olivia Firth in there in 3. Where's Tilly McCrum in 5 at the moment for the Scottish Massive. In and out of that final turn, looking like that could be the North Rider. In there inside the top 4 on the 1.4 plate. That's going to be Ellen Parr out of Crank BMX Coaching. Race 128 on track. That's going to be Megan Duhigg out front, being chased down by the 1.5 of Louise Beck. Here comes the 4.3 of Harriet Alexander, doing it for Pure Bikes. She's a coach now, is Harriet. Yeah, runs her own coaching clinics. She teamed up with Connor Hedges, I think, not long ago as well. I'm pretty sure, I think I've got that right. If I haven't, that's embarrassing. But yeah, she's going through in that top 3 spot, chasing down Louise Beck out of the south. Race 129, Caitlin Ellis on track in there in 3, chasing down the 13.5 of Hannah Drew, who's in that 2 spot. The 1.1 though, Lottie Etmane leading this one out. I had no clue that Lottie was 17 plus. When did that? Well, anyway, she's leading the moto. She's flying out front for the Midlands. She's going to take that moto win. With Drew in that 2 spot. Masters out. All riders down on the second straight. Elbows were flying. I think that might have been Dale Scott that we lost. Billy Irwin's getting busy into turn 2. Took his national win a few months ago at Manchester Outdoor, and he's looking for a way around only into that final corner. Ryan Jones in there in 3. It was a 3.1 that hit the deck. That was Dale Scott, the other rider, back up and okay. That's going to be Nathan Abbott out of the southwest, but it was Utley and Irwin out front. Put your hands together for Dale Scott and Nathan Abbott, ladies and gents. We're having a slight nightmare with this gazebo up here. But we've got the gazebo theory. Casey sorted it out. He knows what he's doing with these gazebos. Race 131, Lillingston, Thompson, James, Mays, Issett and Murphy. Sean Issett looking to pick up another whole shot in this motor, not quite going to get the fun in turn number 1. He's now behind last year's British champ. That is John Lillingston. Issett in there in 2, then for the Midlands. Looking good for David James in there in 3 on the 1.2, played the 1.3 in the mix as well. That's Darren Thompson out of Peterborough and East Anglia. In and out of that second turn and into the final one for Lillingston and Issett. Then 2 guys going to chill their way down the final straight to a 1 and 2 spots, with David James rounding out them ponying spots. 30 plus women. There's a bit of information for the 30 plus women as well. Let me just double check that I get this right. They've got a new award that's going to be handed out later on during the 30 plus women's British Championship presentation. It is going to be called the Tabitha Rendell Wonder Woman Award. So the winner of the 30 plus women's category later on today will get the Tabitha Rendell Wonder Woman Award. So one to look out for at the presentation later on. It's a lovely gesture.
After the 8.
So the Worlds and Euros parade, the Worlds and Euros parade is after the 8s. Then we have got, after the quarters, we've got the rider signing session, the autograph session, with all of the pros around in the trading area, and then after racing is the big riders parade. I think I've got that right. It's a lot to remember on a Sunday at the Brits. Missed that moto. I think that was the other 30-plus women's. As the vets hit the track, Ben Martinez, Midlands BMX, out front looking good. He's going 1 and 2 with a 2.1 of Lee carry. Good to see Lee back on track in race 134. Been a while since I've seen Lee racing. He's had a few injuries this season, but I know he really wanted to be back for this Brits race, and he's looking good out of that final turn, sticking a move on Ben Martinez. It is going to be the Midlands 1 and 2 with a 2.5. In at 3, that was Zoltan Bude. Matt Barnard on track, doing his good deed earlier on, handed in a transponder that was lost. He's leading this one out. Still my favourite all-time Brits finish line pit from last year with the scrub of the shoulder. It was wicked, that was. He's looking to do it all again today in his Midlands jersey, in and out of that final corner. I'm all right, thank you. Do not forget, guys, of course, the lovely Derby BMX Club have got their fresh samosas over at their tuck shop. So if you fancy a bit of hot food as this wind starts to pick up, they've got some fresh samosas over at their tuck shop. As we take a look at Fraser Watson, race 136. BMX winner photography heading out of that final turn. Matt Eaton in there behind him. And then look at that, that's a sea of white and black, isn't it? The North going at 3, 4, 5 and 6 with Big Nice Smith leading that North charge. Race 137 on track. More vets heading towards turn number 2. The 1.5 leading this one out. Steve Manning out of Bournemouth is going to 1 and 2 with Adam Bude on the 4.5, the 5.5 in there as well. Who is crew repping on the back of the South jersey? Danny T collected his 2-in-1 out merch yesterday. That's going to be for the jump competition later, the long jump competition later on today. He's going to pick up that top 3 finish across the line. Race 138 on track. Craig Hughes, 18.5 leading this one out. He's got the 0-1 in there behind him. That is, of course, Lee Hunt out of Team Mine. In and out of that second corner, Jules Allen. He's getting busy. Timmy Turnbar looking for a way round. Heading into that final corner, doing it for East Anglia. Repping the yellow and black, as always, at the Brits. Here he comes down the final straight, looking for a late charge. Not quite going to get close enough. Not enough turn bars, Timmy. We are moving on to race 139, sorry.
Sorry, I'll carry on. 139. I'm busy gassing. Sorry, Lou. You're going to have to go back on in a minute because when Nathaniel's on. Stephen Assel leading it out. Motor number 139. Got Jonathan Charlesworth in this one out of Team Gnarly. On the 4.1, Matt Knights, the fixing crew have been up here, thank you, really appreciate it. And Kevin Reynolds in the Matthew Knight, I'm Brett Knight, not related, I believe. Race 140, Alan Hill, more titles than a dozen royal families. 26, the British title.
26 British title, I'm sure that's what happened.
I'll tell you what, you know, when they move house, they probably just needed extra room for all the trophies. Gone are the days where Abby used to video literally every lap that Alan did, the boys did. They must have had a VHS video collection in their house that spanned multiple shelves.
Now that's from iCloud.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't like to store that one on iCloud, would you? Cost you an arm and a leg. Anyway, we'll get back to it in a minute. This is Junior Open. Missed all of it.
Stop talking.
Championship women. Tay Gaynor, Freya Chalice, Lucy Simpson, Elizabeth Bound and Cody Harmer. Just 5 riders in this one, but they are all rapido. And out in front, it is Freya the Slayer doing it for East Anglia. She's in 1. That looks like Cody Harmer in about 5 at the moment. Tay Gaynor going through in 2, Lucy Simpson in 3, Maggie Bound chasing them down. Our poet, and I did not know it, in there in that 4th spot. Stop laughing, Lewis. You're like embarrassed for me, aren't you? That's terrible.
I just feel bad for the
Does your dad embarrass you, Louis?
Right.
This dad.
Strickland, Boville, Russell, Roy, Hunt, Reed, Hunt and Cullen into the first turn. Here we go. Big hole shot coming from the rider out of the Midlands. Got a feeling that was George Hunt out in the lead. Ross Cullen in there in 2. Getting involved. Callum Strickland inside the top 3. Or was it Bradley? I heard somebody say go, go, go as they came out of the turn. And Cameron Reid in that sixth spot. I don't know who's bringing it to the line. I think it was Callum Russell, Bradley Russell even. Tanner, Sharrock, Marnham, Collis, Good, Markley and Reeves. Is Paddy going to get that whole shot? Ooh, no, not quite. In there in that second position at the minute as Josh Marnham heads out and down the straight towards that second turn. That is the 2-on-2 of Dean Reeves. Moroccan Olympian in there in that second spot. Paddy's in 3, Tanner in 4. Harrison Collis going through in 5. But it's going to be Marnham, Reeves, Tanner and Sharrock.
broke it.
1, 2. Oh, we're there. There we go. I was talking for about 5 minutes and nothing was happening. That's the second Rakamoto's done and dusted. We are going to kick back off for the 13-year-olds. Lined up at the top of the hill. We are flying through these motos today, ladies and gents. Don't think there's as many as yesterday. Let's have a gander. No, about 130 less. So once again, just to go through all of the happenings later on this afternoon. So after the 1/8 finals, we've got the World and Euro parade. So that's for the riders that made the World and Euro finals. Then after the quarterfinals, there is a signing session that the pros are doing over in the traders area. And then, of course, immediately after racing, we are going into the riders parade. So the regional parade. So that'll be the 6 for the Midlands, the North, the South West, the South, Scotland and East Anglia. And then after that, we're going to go to the presentation over in the traders area. It's going to be a busy afternoon. We'll try and keep you up to date as we're going along. Race 145 hits the track, then Billy Harrison had a great snap, heading for that first corner, but it is the South leading it into the turn. Robin, Matt and Alonso's been shot out of a cannon. Look at that for a lead in that first corner. Alonso, Harrison out front, who's in 3 and 4, looking like we've got the North bringing it on through. That's got to be Knowles in there in 3. Who's the rider in 4? That looks like Oliver Taylor. Look at the separation of the front 4 guys have gained now. Harrison having an absolute corker of a day into that final turn, riding for the Midlands. He's chasing Alonso down the final straight. Robin, Matt and Alonso. Easy for you to say, yeah. I was waiting for that one. Got there in the end. Race 146 on track, that is Isaac Shaw and Logan Young, 1 and 2. So the Midlands and the South are looking good at the moment. That looks like it could be East Anglia in the mix inside the top 3. Zach Childs bringing it on round. He's under a bit of pressure there from last year's British champ. I think he was a British champ in the age group below. Yes, he was. Freddie Parkinson. He's in there inside the top 4. Elvis Lawrence on track, your regional champion for the South in this age group. Going 1 and 2 the world number 7. That is James Cotty Cottrell. The 19.3 of Maxwell Lawrence in there as well. He's rounding out them top 3 spots. The Southwest in the mix, looking like that could be Owen Miller on the 5.2 plate. But it's all about Lawrence out front. Race 148 on track. Lynch, Young, Geddes, Allison, Sim, Patterson, Eames and Cranston. It looks like the North and Toby Lynch are leading this one out. That looks like Brody Geddes in there in 2, who's got 3 and 4. Eames is in there in 4, chasing down the 18.3 of Leo Cranston into turn number 2 and back out again. Alfie Sim in there in 5, but it's looking good for the North in 1, 3, 1, 4 and 5 at the moment. Lynch, he's going to round out this moto win down to the stripe. Geddes for that 2 spot for the Scottish crew. Cranston and Eames 3 and 4. Race 149 on track. More 13-year-olds coming at you in the third rack of motos. Looking like that could be the 22.2. Ned Guppy, absolute bicycle motocross. Look at that for a lead that he's got on the exit of that second corner. Thomas Westmore doing all he can to try and close the gap. Looks like we've got a Harry McFarlane inside. Sorry, that's Toby Skinner actually. Skinner making his move on the last straight as well. Getting his front wheel through from a 3 to a 2-spot finish. Nate Hamilton, Smiley's Flight Club and the North heading into turn number 2. He's got the 17.3 in there behind him, that's Ben Millington. The 21.1 in there as well. That's going to be Harry Bailey. So Smiley's Flight Club going 1 and 3 in the North. And the Midlands occupying them spots. Both of them split up by the 17.3 of Millington down the final straight. Who's the rider out of the North? Got to be Milo Weller on the 14.4. Rounding out them top 4 spots. Race 151 on track, then the Southwest got a few riders in this one, heading into the turn, the 6.5 on the inside. That's going to be Ronnie Richards. He's just about made the top 3 spot stick. That looks like it could be Caden Thompson in there in 4, but the Southwest out front absolutely flying. Who are them riders? Jacob Nisbet could be one of them. Lewis Lynn Scott's in the mix on the 45.5. That was Gabriel Townsend out front. Oliver Tyres, Moto 1365 and East Anglia racing on a track. Noah Buttery in that 2-spot, one rider hits the deck. That's the 10.2. Tristan Clark straight back up to his feet. Put your hands together for Tristan. Good to see he's up and okay. Going to complete that lap as we look at race 153. Out of that first corner, who leads it away? Got to be Todd Smith-Notman, the powerhouse, charging through that second straight. He's under pressure there from the 30.5 of Oscar Jewell. The 2.5 in there as well. That's Newton Hindley. He's now under a bit of pressure himself from Freddie Richardson, doing it for East Anglia into that final turn. Notman though, hanging on to it. Can he take it down to the stripe? Yes, he can, riding out of the North. Race 154 on track with Henry Shenton. That's him in about 3rd of the minute, occupying a top 3 spot behind the other 2 Midlands riders. So it is Kobe Rayford, smooth as you like, into turn number 2, the 13.1. In there behind him, that is Heath Osborne. So the Midlands 1, 2, 3 and 5 as they go in and out of that second corner. Shenton in there in 3. Who's going to pick up the 5 spot? That's Samuel Wood. And they are all broken up by the Northern rider on the 8.4. That's George Mather out of Fluent Bicycle Motocross. 13-year-old girls on track. Ren Giannolino is out front. Maddie the Baddie in the middle of the pack. Had a moto win and then a crash. So far today, she's had a massive mixture of results so far. She's had a move put on her in that final turn by Anastasia Muhar, but the Baddie's not done yet. She's looking back on the inside into the final turn, and I think she might make that one stick. Giannolino out front, the 11.2. That's going to be Isabella Rowe in that 2 spot with a 14.3 in 3. Who's going to get 4 on the line? I think that was Isla Young out of the south. Race 156 then on track. Ellie Moore in that 2 spot, chasing down the 3.3 of Katie Millar. Can anyone catch her out of turn 2? I don't think they can. Lexi Keynes looking for a way round Moore as the end to that 3rd straight. Didn't quite make it happen. Last turn action, looked to the inside, wasn't quite close enough. The moves in the final corner from the Southwest. It's getting busy. That's a Fire Peck looking like she's going to pick up the top 5 spots on the line with Libby Copping in there as well. Race 157, Oliver James leading this one through. Doing it for the North. The North have got 1, 2, 3 riders inside the top 4. One of them is Emmy Seward. She's going to pick up that top 4 spot on the line. Race 158.
Started to go up.
8s have started to be uploaded to scores, ladies and gents. 8s have started to go up on scores. I think we're going straight into 8th racing after the motos. I'm pretty sure we are going straight into the 8s after motos, so 8s are starting to go up on scores, ladies and gents. Make sure you're keeping an eye out on scores and your riders are in the pens ready and waiting when motos are finished. 14-year-olds on the track. 5.5. Tyler Stephen Knight out of Pecco BMX. Leading this one out from the other South rider. That looks like it could be Toby Sturgis, sorry. Look at the moves being made. That's got to be... that's Alfie, isn't it? Yes, it is. Alfie Andrews having a corker of a lap, making moves in that final turn. Going to take that second spot on the line for the Midlands and Urban Air BMX. Kai Bowen, check him out. As smooth as you like, the W5 and the 0-1. Look at this for a scrap out front. Bowen, Thomas looking good into that final turn. Who's that in there in 3? On the outside, looking in at the moment. Got to be Eden Boone out of East Anglia. So the East Anglia going 2 and 3. But your race winner out of the South, Kai Bowen. That looks like Rufus Cousineau out of Bournemouth BMX and the South, leading out this next moto. Who's in there with him? Looking like Harvey Tomlinson on the 27.5, in and out of that second corner. He's been racing up an age group at the regional rounds, but he's in there in that 2 spot at the minute, chasing his South compatriot out of that final corner. The 2 Midlands riders coming through in 3 and 4. That's going to be Stan Mason and Lucas Tandy. Race 163.
Race 163 on track. 8 finals are going up on scores right now. 8 finals going up on scores. Check them out. Make sure you're there in time. Wilson 1, Larkins, Franklin, Barnard, Seeley and Baptiste. 2 possible finalists in this one in the form of Lucas Seeley and Ben Larkins taking it down to the line. Those guys are going to go 1 and 2 with... 18.2 of Freddie Franklin going through inside the top 3. Onto the 14s, more of them. Shaw, Parsons, Beat, Smith, Cranage, Sanders and Bradley James. James in 1. Smith going through in 2. Ewan Beats having some great laps. He's in there in 3. That is Lucas Shaw going through in 4. Doing it for Peterborough and the East Anglia. There's a big battle going on for 5 between the Midlands rider and the East Anglia rider. 7.3. That was Dylan Parsons scrapping away. Race 165. Cooper McCrum in there in that 5th spot right now, chasing down the 26.1 of Logan Widowson. Dunkley in there, Mason Groves as well. The man out in front, that's going to be Amos Guppy out of the southwest. He's going to take the win. Groves in 2. Widowson in 3. Dunkley in 4. 14-year-old girls, Leasley, McFarlane, Wright, Knowles, Everly and Brown. Everly in 1. Brown in 2. That's going to be Lily Hayes in there in 3. Ava Wright going well in 4 for the North, being chased down by Daisy Knowles. Jessie Leasley pushing hard as well. As the 2 friends go 1 and 2, Lottie Brown, Amelia Everly. Cross that line. Onto 167, Grace Burge, Ailey Watson, Lily Hayes. Elaney Rushford in this one. It is Ailey Watson out in front. Grace Burge in there in 2. Whoa, elbows flying in the corner. Lily Hayes throwing it in there. Ruby Walford trying to make her way through from 5th. As Watson leads them out of that final turn. She's going to pick up the win from Burge. Who's going to get that 4th spot? Looks like Lily Hayes will take it. 168 Yomoto. Oliver Muhar in this one. Theo Robbins. And Lucas Webster on that 3.2. Oh, Southwest Ride again a little bit out of control. Just as they approach that final corner. And that was the 3.2 of Lucas Webster. 5.2 in there as well. That is Joe Nunn. Race 1 at 69, Kai Bowen into that turn. Chased down by Sean Brown, the 4.5 in there as well, and the 5.1. That belongs to Samuel Townsend. The 5.1 is Finley Collins Bradshaw, Alex Mackey in there for the North, Cody Coker as well, and Bodie Wright. Bodie out of Pendle Panthers. Race 170, Jack de Jong, Sullivan, Trevina, Reynolds, Foster, Rushforth, and Noah Everly. Everly out there in 1, Kasperi Reynolds in 2. The 10.5 in there in 3. That's going to be Elliot Sullivan out of South, rides down at Andover. Thomas Foster doing it for Birmingham. He's in there in about 6 at the minute. As they head down straight towards that line of the rider out of Cumbernauld, Jack de Jong. Race 171, Caden Kemp, Ruben Bramley, James Cox, Scott McCallum out of Cumbernauld. He's in there in 4. The 11.2 is Caden Kemp. He's battling away with James Cox. So they head towards the line. Right, if you find a lost iPhone, if you pick up an iPhone off the floor anywhere, if you can return it to the Derby Club cabin, please. Return any iPhones found to the Derby Club cabin. We would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Right, 173 is your moto. Oliver copping. Oh, Oliver's gone down, taking his teammate with him. 1, 2, 3, 4 riders caught up in that one. Dylan McKenna managed to escape the carnage, but it was all the slide out of Ollie Copping that caused it. So yeah, bit of an issue. That's got Rita running across to kick stones off the track. She's not moved that fast since she stopped riding. 14.4, Eric McSwitty, Dalton Spirit, 1 and 2. In Moto 174. I've missed my opportunity to take the mick out of Eli Smith, or most importantly out of Ant, because he's turning 40 in a couple of weeks, Ant Smith. Yeah. Barry Potter, middle-aged, tell you. He'll be loving it. Moto number 170-something, 5, I think. 174. Conor Harris Main in this one for the South, 15.4 leading it through. That is Henry Rayner. Henry Rayner is going to be representing the North at school games next week over at Loughborough University. It's free to watch on the Saturday if you want to have a ride over to Loughborough University to watch school games. There are tickets available for the racing here at Derby on the Sunday. It's always a good time. Check it out if you can.
Race 175, the 15-year-old girls are a go. Ruby Moores leads this one out. She's got the 5.5 in there in that 2 spot. That is Imogen Cockrell. All moves are being made. Alexis McCartney exits right in turn number 2 after she received an elbow from the 7.2. That was BB Alderton, and it looks like Alderton has made his stick and gone into that 3 spot. So it is going to be Raw Moores picking up that moto win. Cockrell, Alderton, 2 and 3. Put your hands together for Alexis McCartney, ladies and gents. As we take a look on track, the European number 3, Carly Hayes, in there at about 4 at the minute, under a load of pressure from Megan Roy as they come through that 3rd straight. That is Anya Matan Alonso in the 3 spot, chasing down Lorianne Carruthers and Sophie Elwood, who lead the race. Elwood, Carruthers down the final straight. Looks like Elwood's going to hang on to that moto win. Carruthers in 2. Looks like we lost Jess Marriott in that one as well. Put your hands together for Jess. Race number 177, Sophie Kynaston, Sabina Ashman, Charlotte Stanley, Eleanor Curtis, Betty Brewer and Annalise Patman-Carpenter, the British champ from last year. She's in there in that 2 spot, chasing down the 1.5 plate of Sabina Ashman, doing it for Rust in a race down the south. Carpenter into the 5.4 in there in 3. That was Sophie Kynaston. Her back wheel almost went in turn number 2, but she managed to keep it upright. The southwest going through in 4 and 5. That's Eleanor Curtis and Betty Brewer in and out of that final corner then. All about the south, and Ashman picking up that moto win. Race 178 on track. 16-year-old boys coming at you thick and fast through this 2nd straight. Josh Williams leads it out. On the 8.4 plate, he's going to 1 and 2 with the 3.2 plate. That's got to be... Not a clue. Don't have it on here. Oh, that's why. It's the next race. Must have held one back. Kingdom Roberts, that is in the 2 spots, with the 2.3 of Hayden Stone in 3. Race 180.
Right, okay, straight into the 8th.
Just a reminder, guys, we are going straight into the 8th after motos. There's a lot of 8s already up on scores. They're all already up on scores. You need to make sure you are in the pens, ready and waiting, please, when that last Superclass gate drops. If you're not there ready and waiting, there's a chance that you might miss your 1/8 finals, and that will be your British Champs 2024 done and dusted. 16-year-olds then, that looks like it could be Finn Phillips, Elliot Brooke, yes it is. Is that JT Simpson Davies in 3? Of course it is. Right, the south, 1 and 3 then. Elliot Brook out of the north, splitting up the south party as they go down to the line. Race 1, 8-2, Finn Hoff in this one. Zach Twitchen somewhere near the front of the pack. He's in that second spot at the moment, being chased down by the other North rider in the race. That looks like it could be the 15.4 of Zach Chapman. Whereas Isaiah Jackson, he's in there at about 5 at the moment on the 10.3 plate, doing it for East Anglia. But it is out front with Finn Hoff and Postar BMX. And down that final straight. Couple of riders down in race number 184. Couple of North riders, I think that was. So we know that's race 183. 4-6 leading it out. The fallen riders, I think they were Dean Raymond Waddle and Niall O'Connor. They're both back onto the feet, finishing their laps. Put your hands together for them. As we take a look at Jaden Fawcett picking up that motor win and getting his entry to the 2-in-1 out jumping competition off that last roller. Race 184 now on track. Ellis Berry's in this one. He's on the inside into turn number 1. It's a couple of North riders leading it out though. It's going to be Max Burgess and Jaden Green at the front of the pack. Looking like we've got a South rider in the mix as well. That's going to be the 5.5 of Zach Kennard out of Nicewood into that second corner. The 10.1 in the mix as well. That's Daniel Henry out of Birmingham BMX. He's rounding out the top 4 spots, being chased down by the mid-lancers. Ellis Berry out of that final corner, but it's out front with Green. He's going to take this motor win down to the stripe with Burgess in a tow. European number 3 on track, James Clitheroe, smooth as you like into turn number 2. He's got Tonga around in there in that 2 spot, chasing him on through. So it is the Midlands and the North going 1, 2, 3. Reese Tall out of the North is occupying that 3rd spot at the moment. East Anglia are in the mix as well. In 4 and 5, that's going to be Elliot Wilmot and Alfie Richardson heading down the final straight, but it was Clitheroe with another moto win. 16-year-old girls on track, Charlton, Stretch, Simpson, Lemon, O'Brien and Arthurs. We've got the 2.4 leading this one out. Rosie O'Brien, the 7.4, and there behind it, that is Kira Stretch out of the Bradford Bandits crew. A load of North riders going 1, 2, 3 and 4 in this one. Charlton, Stretch, Simpson and O'Brien all involved in that front 4 action as Rosie O'Brien picks up that moto win. Race 187. Sorry, this is the race that they held back, I think. East Anglia it is, out front. I've lost the sheet of paper. I'm not quite sure which motor that was. It was one of the ones that got held back. As we look at race 187.
Right, 187 is your moto on track right now. 16-year-old young ladies, Femia Jamie Hepburn, battling away with Rosie O'Brien, I think it is. No, Lily Phillips, do apologise. So Lily and Fumi having a bit of a scrap into the final corner. Lacey Bird, Alexa Oyalola and Carmel Allison also in there as well. Race 188 on Esselmont. He's already a firm favourite in the 2-in-1 out last roller jump competition. Sure he'll have another entry sometime very soon, in the next probably 30 seconds or so. And Lamin Akalele going through in that 4th spot. So here comes Esselmont. Are we going to get a tabletop off it? Oh yeah, he threw one in there. Nice. We like. Race 189, Simpson Jacobs, Hambling, Gambe, Green, Rickson, Milbank, Browning, Parsons and Eric Bamford. Into the corner. That looks like Dexter Gambe in there in that 2nd spot. Going well. But it is the Midlands leading it through the 9.1 of Zach Green. Taking it to the stripe. Race 190. Luke Morris, Oscar Matthew Callard, Scary Curry. Out there in front, we've got Talbot in the mix. Oscar Talbot out of the south. Cuddy Whitaker, Bradley, George Chet Young, and George Gerrard. Gerrard out of the north in there in 2, battling with Scary Curry down to the line. The 17.3, that belongs to Luke Morris. He's in there in that 3rd spot. Race 191. Green, Porter, Longley, Chandler, Ketley, Brown, Schiffer Cohen and Alex Stokes out of the north, doing it for Evolved Bicycle Motocross as well. Chasing down his teammate, Keaton Brown, his regional teammate that is. in there in that fifth spot. But it is going to be the 6.5 bringing it to the line. That will be Kanianu Schaefer-Cohen, followed in by Lewis Longley. 17 and 18-year-olds Freddie Cadman-Carpenter and Jaden Seward going 1 and 2. Got a South rider in there in 3. The Scottish rider going through in 4 is Ben Fitzsimmons. Freddie Cadman-Carpenter gives up a position in that final turn to Lewis Fletcher. Fletcher works his way through, steals that moto win. Moto 193.
Tony Page.
Flynn Sanders, Kieran Benechrist in there in 4, chasing down the 13.1. Of Thomas Wilson out of Warsop, that track over there in Mansfield. I haven't been for a very long time. Would love to go there again at some point, just to check that place out. Oh, 19 to 29. Ryan Stack and Neil Brunez. Luke Davis Hayes doing it for the North and Midlands BMX. He's in there in that 3rd position. Kyle Hill in there, Finley Randall, Jack Ellis and George Warner. They are all chasing Stacky to the stripe. 195, Britton, Cope, Sharp, Izzard, Butson and Mitchell and Elliots. And here comes Oliver Cope. That massive burger he had last night, Frankie and Benny's not slowing him down any. Ross Sharp in there in 3. Joshua Izzard going through in 4. And Kobe taking it to the line, followed by the 22.3 of Joshua Butson. Race 196, Callum Chard-Maple, Chris Davis, Billy Luckhurst, Kenny Phillips, Robert Head, Tyrese Bradshaw and Ty Armstrong. Tyrese out there in front. That's going to be Callum Chard-Maple in 2. Remember him winning the Brits as an 8-year-old in his goalkeeper jersey. One that definitely sticks out in the memories. Can he make it another British Champs victory here today? 10 years down the line. Race 198. Jamie Hyam, Annabelle Townsend, Emily Clinch, Imogen Gibson. Actually, no, it's not. Not unless they've got slightly bigger builds, because those are big lads going past. Connor Hedges in there in 4. Josh Wallace in 5. What are you laughing at?
I'm just chuckling.
Tell you, Lewis, he just sits here tittering while I'm commentating. Honestly.
I'll just keep quiet.
You just, yeah. Right. Emily in there in 3. Emily Clinch, the North Region and Evolved Bicycle Motocross. Chasing down the 7.4 of Imogen Gibson. Good to see Imogen over the weekend. Hannah Drew, I think it is, leading it out for the South. Listen, you'll be embarrassing to your kids one day, Lewis. Can I just tell you that?
I'm not.
Back to the racing. Back to the racing, okay? That is race 199. Yeah, wicked. Right, let's see Marley out front. Oh dear, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for that, you know that, don't you? Megan Kirby in that 2 spot, doing it for the Southwest.
I just hope she didn't shop and listen. I'll get it in the next for that.
Lottie Marley though, she's going to pick up that moto win. Megan Duhigg in there in 3. Race 200, 17 to 29-year-old women. Lily Chiswa. 1 down on the final straight in the previous moto. As that was a 3.2 of Lauren Hill. Put your hands together for Lauren. She's going to walk away. As Lily leads out her moto from Remy Godfrey in that 2 spot. That looks like the 2.3 in there as well. Birthday girl, Molly Nice can round out them podium spots. Race 201 hits the track, looking like the North are going to go 1 and 2 early doors, heading for turn number 1. That's going to be Caitlin Ellis, doing it for Absolute and the North in that first corner. 1 rider's hit the deck, that was the South rider, got to be Ella Lamb, I think, on the 3.5. Let's hope that she's okay. It is Ellis though, out front, Tilly McCrum in there in that 2 spot, doing it for the Scottish crew. The 9.4 of Olivia Firth in there in 3, the 8.2's in there as well. That's going to be Alicia Lynn Scott out of Mixed Picks in the Southwest. The other Southwest rider in the mix is Jamie Elwood out of Bristol Jets. Put your hands together for Ella Lamb, ladies and gents. McCrum under pressure down to the line. It's going to be Ellis, McCrum, Firth. That's your top 3. Goes down the vets, hit the track. That's Sean Issett on the inside. Elbow bashing with John Lillingston as he heads to the turn. The last time Issett raced the Brits, he picked up a magical 0-1 plate. He wants to do it all over again today. It's Lillingston, Issett, Irwin. That's your front three heading for turn number 2. Darren Utley's in there in 4. Who's in there in 5? That's going to be the 1.1 plate of David White out of Birmingham BMX with the 2.4 in 6. That's Jake Waddington. But it's all out front with Lillingston and Issett. They are queuing up behind them. They're down the final straight. Issett now under pressure from Irwin. He's going to hang on to that 2 spots. Irwin in 3. More Masters action coming your way. Nathan Abbott's on track in this one. I think he's in there in that 2 spot at the moment. Yes, he is. Doing it for the Southwest, chasing his Southwest teammate. That's got to be David James out of Exeter, heading into turn number 3. Who's picking up the 4 spot? Looking like that is Dale Scott on the 3.1, doing it for Team Gnarly and the Midlands. 1.3 in there as well. Bringing it down the final straight, that's going to be Darren Thompson in the top 4. 30 plus women on track. Sav Carver, Ornella McGarvey Miles, Josephine Burston, Coach Chizzy, and Kim Basford all on track. Coach Chizzy on the 1.1, she's in there in that 4 spots. Sav Carver leads it out though. Kim Basford in that 2 spot. Who's picking up the 3? Looking like that is Josephine Burston out of East Anglia, with Ornella McGarvey Miles in there inside the top 5. But it's all about Sav Carver down the final straight. She's going to rack up that moto win.
I'll jump in because.
Right, Fiona Barry, Rebecca Gall, Abby Hill, Anita Wong and Claire Albert all in this one. And it is Becca out in front, Anita in there in 2, Abby in 3, Fiona in 4. Here comes Claire, she's in there in 5, doing it for the Southwest Massive. So Becca goes round that final turn. Brings it to the line from Anita in that 2nd position. Veterans, Taylor Milne, Downs, Mackie, Martinez, Barnard, Manning and Mountcastle all in this one. Ben Martinez in there in 1. Matt Barnard, I believe he's falling to pieces physically at the minute, but he's still in there giving it his all. Steve Manning in that 2nd position, chasing down Ben Martinez. Looks like they're taking it easy and cruising through these motos. 207. Matthew Eaton, Adam Boudet, Justin Somerville, Ben Martin, Mine Park, Grant Yerbury, Nicholas Smith and Mark Moore, even though I referred to him as his brother Rich earlier on. Clever Rich, well done. That's a good one. But yeah, Mark Moore back on track. Yeah, easy for me to say. SourceBMX.com. You should have shortcut her and be riding a profile, that's all I'm saying. Right, Big Nige Smith in the vets. He'll be taking his time. Aidan Tarora's in there, Adrian Woodcock, Dylan Dixon, Mario Berno. He might be in the lead. Where is Big Nige? He's in there in 5. Chasing down Rich Taylor from Preston. He'll wait till the final straight and then Nick Pass going down the final. You watch. Oh! One rider throws it away down the final straight. I think that was Hayden Tarora. He's up and all right. Oof, rough crash. As Fraser Watson and Lee Carrick go past. Separated by 1 rider from the south. Not quite sure who that was. Might have been Zoltan Boudet. As we move to the Grand Vets. 210, Kevin Reynolds, Chris Taylor, Lee Hunt in this one. Craig Hughes, Stephen Fortune, Stephen Hassel. Michael Goff and Jonathan at Charlesworth. And it is Steve Hassel, Craig Hughes. They look like they're just taking their time. Lee Hunt in there in 3. Jonathan Charlesworth going past me as well. The 8.1, that belongs to Kevin Reynolds. But it's a South 1, 2, 3 down the straight. Hughes, Hassel, and the 0-1 of Lee Hunt. Looking good. Right, Timmy Turnbar's leading out moto number 211. Julian Allen. Oh, he's got Brett Knight and Gary Carver with him. 3.5 lying down on the floor in turn number 2. That is Nigel White. Oh, dear me. Big Daddy White having a tumble. You all right, Nige? He's like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm from Peckham. I'll hug everybody. It's fine. As Alan Hill goes past, along with Keith Julie. So good to see Keith back on his race bike, which doubles as his trail bike, which doubles as his pub bike, probably. Keeping it real on the steel with that S&M Steel Panther.
All it's missing is being an OS20.
Listen, I'll get him on an OS20 if it's the last thing I do. OS20s are the garlic bread of BMX. It's the future. I've tasted it. And as if by magic, Flynn Drellincourt leaves the gate on an OS20. He must have known I was going to mention it. Right, Harvey Fawcett, Miller Hughes, Gabe Simpson, Jared Hill, Ned Penny, Danny J. Monforte and Jimmy Criddle. These are your junior open riders heading down that straight. Criddle in there into chasing down the rider from East Anglia. I've got a feeling that might be Jared Hill on that E3 into the turn. 107, Danny J. Monforte in there in 4, Fawcett in 5, Flynn Drellincourt back in 7, but trying to make some moves. So it's Hill, Criddle, Monforte, that Fawcett, your 1, 2, 3 and 4. Your 73 was Miller Hughes in 5. Championship women, 5 riders. Taya Gaynor on the inside, but it is Freya the Slayer leading them into the turn. Elizabeth Bound, East Anglia teammate on the inside, just working away into that 4th spot. Lucy Simpson in the mix as well, battling with Taya Gaynor there 2 and 3. And the rider from the southwest, Cody Harmer, she's in there in 5 and pushing hard as they go in and out of that second turn. But it's Freya the Slayer in and out of turn 3. She's going to make it 3 wins from 3 in the championship women. Taya Gaynor for the 2. Lucy Simpson, is she going to hang on for 3? I think she is. Superclass down the hill, Markley, Collis, Marnham, William Good, Harry Tanner, Bradley Russell, Cal Strickland and Taylor Hunn into turn number 1. Looks like it's going to be Marnham and Strickland in that 1 and 2. William Good pushing hard, good to see him back on track. Going through in 4 from the south. I've got a feeling that will be... who's that? Casey Markley? Yep, Casey in there in that 4th spot. Harry Tanner in 5. In and out of turn 3. It's going to go Marnham, Strickland, Russell. Last of the motos here, day number 2 at the British BMX Championships 2024. Reeves, Cullen, Boville, Reed, Hunt, Sharrock and Roy into that first turn. In and out we go. Looks like Ross Cullen on that 22 plate. Leading it through, Ross is going to be a guest on the BMX Commentator podcast. I nabbed him for that one yesterday. George Hunt in there in 2. That's going to be the other Midlands rider going through in 3. As they go in and out of the turn, Paddy Sharrock inside the top 4, Cameron Reed in 5.
Do you want to just have what I do in his first few?
Yeah. Yeah, he's in the 3rd one, I think.
We are ready to go 180 final, ladies and gents. The 13-year-old 8 finals are a go. Kirby Rayford out of the Midlands heading for that first corner. He's got Harry Bailey on the insides of the Midlands. They're going to go 1 and 2 in that first turn. Who's in there with them occupying that 3rd spot? Newton Hindley on the 2.5 plate doing it for the south. Who is inside the top 4? Got to be Thomas Westmore at the moment. So the south are looking good to take 2 riders through to the quarterfinals. As he stands at 1.2, he's in there though. Dexter Moore from BRE Racing and the southwest. He's headed towards that final corner, looking to chase down the riders from the south. But they've got a good old gap now. Rayford, Bailey, Hindley, Westmore all taking it through to the quarters. We are looking at 8 final number 2. Got to be Tyres leading this one out. Ben Millington in there as well. He's in that 2 or 3 spot, scrapping away with that 0-1 player. Freddie Parkinson heading into turn number 2. Billy Harrison is on an absolute charge. That's got to be his mum shouting somewhere. Yes, she is up in the Derby Tower. He's in there inside the top four, heading into that final corner. In and out they go. It's looking good for tyres. Parkinson, Millington, Harrison. 1, 2, 3, 4. Race final number 3 now out on track. Robin Martin Alonso, he's on a charge this weekend, heading towards turn number 2. The 14.4 is in there as well. At 14.0, oh, 2 riders have hit the deck. Lawrence has gone down with Osborne. Eames in there in 3. Who's got that 2 spot? That's going to be Zach Childs inside that East Anglia jersey in that 2 spot. Alonso, Childs, Eames. 1, 2, 3. Who's going to get that final qualifying spot? Going to be Adam Stevenson out of the north. Put your hands together for Max Lawrence and Heath Osborne, ladies and gents. Hey, final number 4 out on track then. Lawrence and Buttery are out front, scrapping it out. Buttery just runs into a bit of trouble. It's getting busy. Elbows are flying. Thompson threw it under in the corner. That looks like Geddes hanging on to it at the moment. In and out of that final turn. It's going to be Lawrence, Buttery, Birrell, Geddes. 1, 2, 3 and 4.
Yeah, where are we up to? 5. Right, Tom Smith-Norman, Oscar Jewell, Freddie Richardson, Harrison Barnes, Alfie Underhill, Sam Rollison, Gabriel Townsend and Harry McFarlane, 8th, number 5 in the 13-year-olds. As we head towards that second turn, Todd Smith-Norman is leading it through. 1.1 in there in that second spot. Harrison Barnes, who's got that 4th. It's Richardson. Freddie Richardson's got it right now as they go towards that final corner. And Alfie Underhill's in there in 5 with a little bit too much to do, I think. Front 4 are going through. Norman's going to make it in. Harrison Barnes as well. Richardson just stealing the 3.
8th, final number 6. Easy 13-year-olds going at it. Got to be Nate Hamilton out front on that really bright orange bike. He's flying through that second straight at the moment. He's got Logan Young in that 2 spot. The 7.4 is getting busy as well as William Knowles. A look at the 8.4. A look up the inside. That's going to be George Mather out of the north. He looks for a way around the south rider. I think that was Marlo Woodcock on the 17.5. Yes, it is. Woodcock's going to find that final qualifying spots.
8th, final number 7, Isaac Shaw, James Cottrell, Riley Schimmel, Ronnie Richards, Toby Skinner, Declan Vineyard, Sam Wood and Joshua Harris. Into the second turn we go. Isaac Shaw and Cotty are going 1 and 2. Quick glance back from the 3.2 of Riley Schimmel just to see where the rider from the south was. That was Ronnie Richards who's in there in 4. Those front 4 are out there and clear. They're going to make it in. So, yeah, good stuff from those guys. 8th, number 8.
Last 8th final for the 13-year-olds coming on round. Toby Lynch and Ned Guppy are out front at the moment. Wins Henry Shenton, he's in a top 4 spot, chasing down the 14.4 of Milo Weller. In that second turn, the 5.2 is in there as well. That's Owen Miller. Got a bit of work to do to catch Shenton, heading for the final turn. Lynch out front, he's on a charge today. Absolutely flying away with this one. His teammate from the north, Weller's going to take 3. Guppy for 2. Henry Shenton takes that final spot.
Right, on to the 14-year-olds, 8th, final number 1, and there is no doubt who is out in front in this one. Kai Bowen going well. Logan Widdowson in there into the 3.5 of Enzo Shaw has got himself a nice big gap over the rider in there in that 5th spot. That looks like Ollie Kirby in there in 3, so it's going to go Bowen, Widdowson, Kirby and Shaw making it in.
Lucas Seeley leads out the second 8th final in the 14-year-olds. Heading through that second straight, he's got a couple of Southwest riders in there as well. One of them's got to be Louis Avery's in there in that 2 spot. The 3.2 of Thomas McGovern's in there as well. The 15.4 of Alex Dungley is getting busy in turn 2. He's worked his way into a qualifying spot under the inside of the South rider. I think that was Reed Hughes just being shuffled back to that 5 spot. So it is going to go to Dungley as they bring it to the line.
8th, final number 3 for the 14-year-olds. Amos, Guppy, Ossie and Parra 1 and 2 in this one. That looks like Kai Blaine going through in 3. The 5.6 of Cooper McCrum is in there in 4, but McCrum's got pressure coming. Terblanche is on his back wheel going in and out the final turn. McCrum and Terblanche for that final spot in the quarters. Who's going to get it? McCrum's going to get it.
Where is Freddie Franklin in 8th final number 12? He's in there in that 2 spot, chasing down your race leader. That is Oliver James out of the north. The 6.4 is in the mix as well. Dalton Spirit out of Preston Pirates. He's being chased down though by the South rider. Got him in front of Gatesco. In and out of that final turn they go. James is going to hang on to this win right the way down to the line. Franklin, Spirit and Gatesco all through as well.
Eighth final, number 5 for the 14-year-olds. Ben Larkins is leading this one through. Where is Emmy Seaward? She's in there into the battles going on for 3 and 4 between the 14.4 and the 5.1. Eric McSwitty and Stan Mason. Looks like Riley Binney has left himself a bit too much to do in 5. It's going to go Larkins, Seaward, McSwitty and the 5.1 of Stan Mason.
Your current British champ looking to make it 2 on the bounce here today. It is Heath Thomas out of East Anglia. He's going 1 and 2 with a 1.2 with Bradley James in that second corner. The 4 and 3.3 are in there as well. That's going to be Lucas Smith and Blake Connolly heading towards that final turn. East Anglia, where are you? You were represented in this 8th final, going 1, 3 and 4 right the way down to the stripe with Bradley James splitting up the EA party.
Tomlinson and Cousineau came out of that first turn almost together. Ewan Beats and Oliver Simmer in there as well. They are 3 and 4. So Tomlinson makes use. Oh! Oliver Sim got collected by the rider behind him as well. Oh! Let's hope he's okay. Ewan Beats in there in 3. The 7.5 in 4. Jacob won. Oliver went down, the rider behind literally couldn't avoid him. We're just going to check on him and make sure he's all right. He's working his way off track. I will keep Mum and Dad informed as we come to the stripe. He's sat up. If you're a W128 or a Euro 128, actually, this gives me an opportunity. I'm going to upset some people now, I think, with this one. I am actually, somebody might just get the but I'm going to say it anyway. Right, so what happens is after this race, it's usually a very well-meaning parent who puts a little post on Facebook and says that little Tarquin has become British number 6. That's not technically correct because there's only one British plate here today, which is the 0-1. You can finish 6th in a British Championship final. That is perfectly correct. But you don't have a ranking because we don't go 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-5, 0-6, etc. It's just 0-1. So if it's... Oh, what? Have you brought me some tweets? No. But what's in here then?
Probably a cake, you just turn it upside down.
Is it cake? Have I turned it upside down? Oh, I'm rubbish, aren't I? I'll flip it the other way back up. Who sent me the cake?
My mum.
Your mum? Who's your mum? What's your name?
Hunter.
Hunter. What's your second name, Hunter?
Chambers.
Hunter Chambers. You sent us cake. Thanks so much, mate. Can Lewis have some as well, or is it all for me? Lewis can have some as well. Lewis loves cake. So yeah, as I was saying, when you do your Facebook roundups, because I know the BMX parents love to do it, 6th in the British Championship final is perfectly acceptable. British number 6 is technically incorrect. Oh, we found an iPhone. Have we found an iPhone, or is it another phone?
No.
Oh no, it's a Samsung. It's got the name Harrison on the back, and the number finishes in 968. So if it says Harrison on the back, and your phone number finishes in 968, come and see us. But yeah, we were just talking about Lewis. We were just talking about Facebook posts and the technicality of saying British number 6 when it's not. There's only one British ranking. There's only a 0-1. Be careful what you say.
Yep, I will. If you want to make a comment about you making the final, absolutely fine. I'm all here for it. But getting 9th doesn't clash you as British number 9.
That's true.
Okay, we'll see a lot of it. It's okay if you want to claim it to you.
You won. 16-year-old girls, one of our talents for the future. We are really looking forward to seeing how she progresses in the junior women category when she gets there. Please give it up, make some noise for Miss Freya Chalice. Next up, she hopped in the time machine. She whirled her way back to 1986. We were willing her on to take that World 1. She ended up with a World 2. We love her anyway, Sarah Jane Nichols. World number 3 next. Girls 14 years old, mixes it up with the boys in the 14-year-old age group. She gives no quarter, asks for none either. It's Emmy Seawards. And in the boys, 14 years old, world number 5. This guy absolutely flying. Kai Bowen. Next up, we go down the age groups a little bit to a rider who took a W6. She does it all. On track, off track, super talented. It's Poppy Bishop. Holly Bishop even. Sorry, right family, wrong rider. Oops, might get lynched for that one later. Yeah, sorry. Can't read my own sheet, that's what it is. Next up, W7 in the boys, 13 years old. Came across the line in the semi-final. I think his mum was crying before he came out of the last turn. W7, James Little Cotty Cottrell. Right, 7.3. Oh yeah, that is the other Bishop family member who made a world final. Holly Bishop, we'll get it right this time. Go on, Holly. There she is. I could have called her Poppy and then we could have got them both wrong. Do you know what I mean? Who's next up? Is Benny Jackson up there? No. Kai's not there. Freya's already gone. Alan Hill is next. He's won. He's got more titles than 15 royal families. It's Alan Hill, European champion. E2. I've got a feeling that might be young Mr. Kobe Rayford. It is. Kobe Rayford, your European number 2. Skills, skills, and more skills. Next one on here for me is Brooke Fawcett. Yep, sure. E2. Doing it for Hard Knocks Bike Coaching and now Enfuse Sports Nutrition. It's Brooke Fawcett. Took an E2. No Elsa, no Emily. Is Harry Donald in? No, he isn't. James Clivero's not here, is he? No. Jared Hill? No. Iris Hyder's next on my list. Is he? Oh, we need James Clivero first. He's hiding in the back. Isn't he? European number 3. Cooler than the contents of a Paula Bear's fridge. It is James Clivero. Next up, Iris Hyder. Is Harry here? Oh, he's just turned up. Better late than never, Harry. Harry Donalds, European number 3. Never forget that world semi-final where he came from the back. Absolutely brilliant. Jared Hill up next. Took a European 3. We're going to save one of the best ones. Iris Hyder. She's a big fan of the BMX Commentator podcast. Or maybe it's just a dad who's a big fan of the podcast. Listens all the time. Next up, Fluent Bicycle Motocross. Frankie Griffin. Sorry, Frankie, didn't recognise you there, mate. E3, 9 to 12-year-old cruisers. Next up, the E4 belonging to Miss Betty Wills. Rolling through the gates. She can't stop. She won't stop. She's European 4. She's Lottie Brown. The E5 up next. A good friend. She is the real deal. Amelia Everly. He sits back again. Turn up to the opening of an envelope, this guy. Hello, Evie. Right, next up, E6, women 17 to 24. Miss Evie Webster. On the E5. Oh, Elizabeth, yes. Miss Elizabeth Bowen. Doing it for Pure Bicycles. The Warlock will appreciate that shout out. And on the E7, picks up this one in 9 to 12 cruiser is Oliver Arnolds. And last but not least, the E7 cruiser 45 to 49. The Scottish Massive will make some noise for Fraser Watson. Stick a fork in him. I think we're done. Hey? Sneaky training, that's what it is, James. We'll give him another shout. E7, he wasn't happy with one major championship final, he had to have two. No, it's fine. It's fine. Right, James Cottrell, ladies and gentlemen, coming around for another parade lap. He's not won anymore. He's not coming around for a third one, and we've had enough now. You okay, mate?
at the Nationals and the Brits. Get them online, get them on YouTube. It's really simple. BMX Race Hub, straight into the YouTube search bar. They'll be the first thing that come up. They live stream every single national and British round. There's all sorts of good fun on there as well, like track guides, interviews. Yeah, to apparently northern commentators. Just to let you know, I'm not northern, all right? I'm actually not offended by it, but I'm offended by it. I won't let you know that. Yeah, there's all sorts of good stuff on there. What else is on there? What else is on the race? What else is on there? Got some shorts on there. Oh, short videos. All right, okay. I thought you meant BMX Race Hub shorts. Over on the Race Hub, yeah, there's some shorts on there. No, I love the North. I'm all for the North, but born and bred. Yeah, I did fail the interview. Can't eat enough pies, believe it or not. Looks like we've got some more quarter-finalists in the pens, ladies and gents. We are going quarter-final racing imminently. Get yourself trackside if you haven't already.
You set my soul on fire. Baby, you set my soul on fire. You set my soul on fire. Baby, you set my soul on fire.
We have had a caravan key lost. It is a red plastic caravan key. If you have seen a red plastic caravan key kicking about anywhere, hand it into the Derby BMX Club cabin at the bottom of the start hill. The person that's obviously lost the key really needs it back. They need to get into the caravan. So please keep an eye out for that. Thank you very much, greatly appreciated. We've got quarter-final number one lining up, locked and loaded on the gates. Stevenson, Eames, Childs, Jewell, Lawrence, Weller, Guppy and Tyres. We are ready to go, ladies and gents. Day number 2 of the 2024 British BMX Championships. Quarterfinals lined up. Quarter-final number 1, here's the track, heading for turn number 1. Lawrence is in the middle of the pack, heading for the corner. That looks like Tyres leading it out for East Anglia. Into the turn they go. Tyres, Lawrence, who's having 3 or 4 Milo Weller, looks like he's in the middle as well. Eames has blown a pedal in turn number 1. It is looking good for Tyres at the moment. Lawrence, Guppy into turn 2. Guppy round the outside. Milo Weller is having an absolute flyer. He's got Zach Charles right there with him behind him, heading for turn number 3. Charles looking for a way round Weller. Last turn action down the final straight. Tyres, Guppy, Lawrence, Weller. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarter-final number 2 hits turn number 1. That's got to be Comey Rayford. Smooth as you like in European number 2. Leads this one out for the Midlands. Robin Matter Alonso. He's having a corker of the weekend. Chasing down the European podium from earlier on in the year. Freddie Richardson's in there in 3. Brody Geddes inside the top 4 for the Scottish crew. And they're going wild on the final straight. It's going to be Rayford, Alonso, Richardson. Them 3 guys are safe and clear. Geddes under a little bit of pressure down the final straight, but he's going to hang on to it for the Scottish crew.
Quarter-final number 3, Lynch, Smith, Notman, Young, Parkinson, Knowles, Burr, Westmore and Richards. This one is absolutely stacked right now. We are looking at Toby Lynch and Todd Smith, Notman in there in 1 and 2. Who's got the 3? That looks like the 6.5 being followed by the 12.1. Oh, Freddie Parkinson, he's throwing his elbows in there. Oh, and he's gone! Down with the rider next to him. That's ended his British champs. Who's going to get the 3 and the 4? 6.5 of Ronnie Richards and the 12.1 of Dexter Beerup is in the semi-final.
Quarter-final number 4 is on track. Hamilton leading it out with your world number 7. That's got to be Cotty. So the Northerners are out front at the moment. Here come the Midlands though. Getting involved. It's the 21.1 inside the top 4. That's of course Harry Bailey, but he's under pressure and he's chasing down the other Midlands rider. That's got to be Billy Harrison. No, it's not. It's Shaw, Bailey. Here comes the 17.3 down to the line. Millington pushing Bailey to the line. I think Millington might have just nicked it.
Right, here we go with quarter-final number 5. Heath Thomas, Bradley James, Tate Kitson. We are on to the 14-year-olds. Oliver James is in this one as well as they head towards turn number 2. Heath Thomas and Oliver James. 1, 2. Who's in 4? Looks like Tate Kitson in that 4th spot. Cooper McCrum back there in 7 as they go in and out of the corner. Who's going to get that final qualifying spot? They all look good and clear. Oliver James has made it in. Bradley James as well.
Pure bicycles in the south. Ben Larkins leads out this quarter-final. In the 14-year-olds, he's going 1 and 2 with the East Anglian. That is Eden Boone picking up that 2 spot. The 3 and the 2.4 are in the mix as well. Garner B, Ocean Par, and what looks like Mason Groves. Groves is in that 3 spot, Par's in 4. Here comes the rider in 5 out of the southwest. That's going to be Ollie Kirby. Doing it for Green Machine. Has he got enough left in the tank for Par? As he head down to the line, Par's going to hang on.
Quarter-final number 7, the 3rd one for the 14-year-olds. Kai Bowen, Emmy Seward is in this one as well. Harvey Tomlinson, the South are going 1 and 2. Thomas McGovern absolutely flying in 3. Emmy's there in the 4 under pressure in the corner from the 26.1 of Logan Whittleson. So the North on the outside looking in. Emmy's got 1 turn and 1 straight to get it done. Looks like Tomlinson's going to go through. Emmy's going to go out in the 5. Whittleson stolen the 4.
Quarter-final number 8 is on track. The 14-year-olds are a go. Got to be Amos Guppy leading this one through on the 17.2. There's a load of the Southwest riders in the mix as well. And the 2.5 is in nearing 3. That is Rufus Cosinu chasing down the 23.4. And Lucas Seeley, who's picking up that final qualifying spot. Looking like Freddie Franklin out of Cardiff BMX. In and out of that final turn. Franklin is hanging on, but he's under pressure from the 14.4 of McSwitty. Here comes McSwitty. He's going to nick it on the stripe.
Quarter-final number 1 for the 15-year-olds. We change age. Who's Cody Coker, George Chapman, Zachary T and Louis Pinders in this one as well. The Southwest trying to get involved, and it is George Chapman who's in there in that 4th spot. The South are looking good. 1 and 2, Cody Coker, Zachary T. Alex Mackey's hit the deck on that 3rd straight as they go towards the line.
More 15-year-old quarter-final action coming your way, ladies and gents. In and back out of that first corner, the Midlands is leading it through with Sean Brown. The North are in there as well, looking like Eli Smith is going to be somewhere or thereabouts. He's worked his way up to 3, not quite sure what happened to him down that first straight. He's in there behind Henry Rayner on the 15.4, played the South in there as well. Looking like that could be Samson Townsend out of Bournemouth. He's in a qualified spot, but he's under pressure from Shea Jordan. Townsend, Jordan with a late ditch to the line. Who's going to get it? Jordan's going to qualify.
Quarter-final number 3 for the 15-year-olds. Noah Everly and Caden Dunn were out there 1 and 2. Finley Collis and Ruben Bramley are in there as well, and Riggs Collis in there in 3. The 11.1 having a quick look where the 3.5 is Bradley Davison. He's trying to work his way past Kasperi Reynolds into that final corner. Davison, Reynolds for the final qualifying spot. Who's going to get it on the line? Reynolds is holding on. Here comes Davison. Couldn't quite make it stick.
The Southwest and Lucas Webster are out front in quarter-final number 12. He's going 1 and 2 with Kai Blaine out of the South there coming on through. At the moment, the North are in there as well. Looking like the 3.4 is hanging on. That's Dylan McKenna, who's the rider working his way in. That's the 6.5 on Cameron Cox. He's now being chased down though by what looks like Joe Nunn on the 5.2 heading into the final turn. Who's going to get this final qualified spot? Nunn, Cox down the final straight. Here comes Nunn with a late charge. I think he's going to nick the top 4 finish on the line. line.
Tell you what, Finley, half of the North, threaded the needle down that first straight. I thought he was getting cut off, and he rode straight between the two riders next to him. He's worked his way into the lead. Doran's in there into the 18.5 and the 20.3. That belongs to Zach Twitchin and Thomas Millar. They are 3 and 4 at the moment. The North rider trying to get in, I think, is Joseph Bamford. He's just left himself too much to do. He's going to go out.
Finn Phillips has just been shot out of a cannon into turn number 1 and over that whole shot line. In and out he goes with what looks like Curtis Cameron right there behind him. So now 2 guys are safe and clear as it stands. Here come the North, that's got to be Elliot Brill heading into that second corner, the 15.4 and the 24.3. The 24.3 was what looks like Callum David. He looked on the inside of the turn, couldn't make it stick. It's going to be Brook and Chapman. Chapman's going to find that final qualifying spot for the North.
Oliver Kendall and Josh Williams heading into turn number 1. Looks like Williams is in there in 3, and he's got company because Jaden Green has worked his way into 2. Who's got that 4th spot right now? It's the rider out of East Anglia on the 1.3. That is Jack Clark. Clark under pressure though from JTL Simpson Davis. Josh Williams in there in 3 and looking good. Jaden Green in 2. Who's going to get the 4? The 1.3 of Jack Clark holding on. Williams pushed through for the 2. Clark in 4.
Junior Dr. Smooth on that E3 bike, leads it out of turn number 1. He's going through. At the moment, he's got 4 sitting in there behind him, picking up that 2 spot. Here comes the 12.5 in the mix. That's Ryan Stepanovs, who's the rider inside the top 4. EA go wild. It is Sam Hamlin doing it for SAS race team. In and out of that final turn, clear the road. He's wrapped up his quarterfinal win, forcing Stepanovs going through with Hamlin in that final qualifying spot.
17 and 18-year-olds, quarter-final number 1 in and out of the turn. Ruben Smith, Zach Green, Keanu Schaefer Cohen in this one. Sebastian Hamlin as well in there in that 3rd spot, I think, right now. 25.5, Ruben Smith looking good. 6.5, it is Keanu Schaefer Cohen, easy for me to say, in that 4th spot. He looks like he's going to go through the rider from the North, Thomas Green, out in 5.
Freddie Cameron Carpenter on that 0-1 plate. He picked up a 0-1 yesterday aboard his cruiser, and he wants to do the same today on the smaller wheels. It is Carpenter leading it at the moment. Who's in there with him, picking it up as they come on through? Looks like it could be the 2.2 plate of Alfie Holloway. The 1.5 in there, that's Lewis Fletcher, who's picking up that final qualified spot. Looking like that could be Luke Morris out of Team EA heading into the final turn. Tom Wilson's in the mix. Oh, moves are being made. Fletcher's out of it. Wilson says thank you very much, happy birthday to me, and takes that final qualifying spot.
Penultimate quarter-final, Gerard Munro Higgs, Portland in this one, Longley, Porter, Scurry, Curry, Joshua Simpson Jacobs and Lamin Akalele. It looks like the North's George Gerard leading it in and out of turn number 1, but the East Anglia Massive are queuing up behind him. Owen Pulland is right there with him on the 2.3. Those guys 1 and 2, 5.2 and 4.5. Scott Munro Higgs, Joshua Simpson Jacobs, those guys are 3 and 4. Lewis Longley, he's looking for a way in as they go down the final straight. Who's going to get in at the line? Push, push, push. 2.5. Left it a bit too late.
There's 5 South riders on track in the final quarter-final of the weekend, and one of them is going to be on Esselman, and is inside the top 4 at the moment. The 2.5's worked his way in though. Che Young leads it out. Jaden Seymour's making moves as well. He's inside the top 4. That looks like it could be Dexter Gambay. In there in 3, he's got on Esselman in there behind him. Last straight action. Young, he's going to take it to the wire. Seymour for 2. 3 and 4 are going to go to Gambay and Esselman. Quarter-finals done and dusted.
1:15. Right, 1:15 for your semis, 1:15 for your semi-finals. Hey, don't knock the cake over, Lewis. Respect the cake. He did it, wasn't me, wasn't me.